In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, let's take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. I'm your DM Al, and today we have Laura, Yvonne, Henrietta, Maddie, and Rebecca. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm from Germany, and I'm playing Byleth, a dragonborn wizard.
Yvonne?
Hi, I'm Yvonne, and I'm from Canada, and I play Cracker, who's a half-orc barbarian.
Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henriette, and I'm from Norway, and I play a Kalashtar druid named Dalin.
In perpetual search of a pearl.
Uh-huh.
Maddie?
Hi, I'm Maddie. I am from the US and I play Satina, a dwarven wizard.
And Rebecca?
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm also from Germany and I play a human cleric named Orla.
Yeah,
Would you like to lead us in the recap of last week's adventure?
Of course. So, we killed the big worm, and now it's time to dissect it because we need a bit of loot from it. Pierce told us that the worm was already weak before and that we probably wouldn't have been able to kill it if it was at its full strength. So it was affected by the black mold. In the worm, we will find acid and poison, which is pretty dangerous. And we would need to collect the poison, the teeth, stomach vial, and there also would have been a purple worm pearl, and maybe also eggs that we could farm. And we also said that Tina should tag the black mold because there are different samples. But first we took a long rest, even though it was risky, but we put alarms and Satina and Cracker took watch. It was apparently pretty close because a drow party was passing by, but they didn't see us, so we were lucky. And then the next day, Dalin cast create water and mold earth to clean the outside of the worm from the mold, and it just worked perfectly. So getting in the mouth actually was the first challenge, but Cracker opened it with help of a rope, and it smelled really bad, like really, really bad. And to give Cracker a bit of a push, Dalin kept slapping her so that she's raging, and they both get in. And the first thing is that Cracker gets 6 teeth actually out of the worm. They see a short sword, and we get to know that it is from Crystal, Pierce's once companion and friend. And then they see a blob of goo and it falls down and damages Orla, and then Satina and Violet, we also go in because we heard screaming and we kill it. And the three, so Orla, Cracker, and Dalin go further into the worm, and they just see that the creature is contaminated with black mold. It's all over. Cracker also scraped yellow stuff out of the worm, but it was not the acid organ. So they move further in. They then smell real acid, and the area is just full of black mold. So Cracker wants to go after the acid, cuts out a section, and it smells so bad that Cracker can even taste it. And Pierce says that it's a pheromone. So we get 4 chunks of pheromone. And also acid in a vial. So we go very deep, and Cracker has to cut through everything, which also leads to Orla getting blood in her face and eyes, and she is now temporarily blinded. But she can see in the dark, and she couldn't concentrate because she felt so unwell. But Cracker collected 2 vials of blood. Yay! So, yeah, and Dylan and Cracker then find lumps in the intestine, which turns out to be a dead creature. I think it was a red gnome, and they were not looking like crystal, but there is a C on the armor, which would, you know, which would indicate that it could be crystal, but no bracelet, which she had. So Pierce has the suspicion that Crystal might be alive, but she just took on another identity. Then Cracker and Dylan get attacked again, and Cracker falls unconscious, and it's all very messy. But we help, and everything turns out fine. And then we see glittery bits next to us, and Dylan tries to get the shinies out, and oh, it's a diamond! Very great, and a few small valuables. Satina then harvests the poison. We find another body that looks very alien-like, so nothing that we have ever seen before. Pierce also has never seen it before, but I mean, we don't know what is in this universe. We don't know anything, so Satina loots it. And we find something that looks very modern with handles and all. It's a gun and also a card. Of course, we don't know what it is at all. So Dylan, I think, pushed the trigger and shoots herself, but she didn't die, obviously. She's strong. And Satina also tried to discern it and also took a lot of damage. So we know that it does damage, but not a lot more. It's still a big mystery. And then we all got out of the worm, and everyone is kind of safe. That's it.
Very good. Well done.
Thank you.
Anybody want to add anything? So the one thing about the gnome body that you found inside the purple worm, I don't know if you said this, I didn't quite hear it, but did you describe what it looked like?
It was a red gnome, and it was not looking like crystal. That's what Pierce said.
A red
But
gnome.
I was
yeah.
a were-rat. A were.
I was a bit
It
unsure.
was a were-rat wearing
Oh, okay.
that had gnomish features wearing
Yeah.
Crystal's armor.
So it looked like a rat.
He was cheesing. He is cheesing.
Yes.
This
Cheese.
whole picture day.
Cheese.
Yeah.
No pun
It's like his
intended.
mom just told him to smile
Oh,
for
a were-rat.
for the family picture.
A were-rat that says cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
New verb.
So maybe, yeah, that may have been a misunderstanding in terms of the pronunciation, and if that was my fault, I apologize. It's a rat, not red, not red. Well, he is
Oh,
sort of reddish
I meant
color.
red. I meant
Yeah.
red. Yeah.
Okay, but he
Well.
he mainly looks like a rat.
Mhm.
Half a rat, half a gnome, basically. So yes, it could be a were-rat. I mean, if any of you are experts in lycanthropy, you might be able to tell for sure. There might be other reasons why something looks half a rat, half a gnome. Good. Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much. See, this is what I mean. Excellent recap. And you get a point of inspiration.
Mhm. Great.
Now, Pierce will say, it's I ain't never heard of oozes and jellies living inside a body of a purple worm before. And this was obviously alive at the time, so although I suppose it makes sense since they're all immune to stomach acids, it's not a normal symbiotic relationship. I wonder if it's got something to do with that black mold you folks were telling me about. We have had some problems with molds and jellies up at Blingdenstone. Hasn't been, it's not normal necessarily to, well, I should say it's not uncommon to run into all kinds of creepy crawlers down here, but it's almost as if they're being drawn to the city, or at least part of the city, because they come sweeping through here for all kinds of reasons that we can't discern, and they show up quite regularly. I would say, if I didn't know better, that there was maybe some intelligent motivation or guidance occurring, because normally these things just kind of randomly wander around tunnels and caverns and I suppose anything else, just sweeping up whatever they can eat. But the ones we are seeing in Blingdenstone, they seem to be going in the same general direction or heading to a point. Now, I think I may have mentioned Blingdenstone is not exactly a thriving city these days. Over 100 years ago, it was destroyed by the Drow as part of retribution because, well, the king at the time helped an escapee from one of their cities, and, well, that was a whole thing. And the Drow were defeated as a result of Blingdenstone teaming up with the dwarves of Gauntled Grim and some other places, and well, it was a great victory. But a few years after that occurred, the Drow came back in force and managed to exact their revenge. They slaughtered just about everybody and enslaved whoever they didn't kill. There are some people who survived, and they hid. And we think some of them may have been turned into, well, it's possible they could have been turned into were-rats. We've been getting attacked by some of these people, claiming that they're the true inheritors of the city, since the rest of us apparently all abandoned it. Of course, we gnomes do live a long life, but not most of them didn't really survive that long, and actually a lot of the folks coming back are second generation. So there's a certain, us versus them mentality, which I think personally is a shame, since we're all gnomes and we ought to stick together. But these gnomes, that have been there for a while, they're kind of organized and living in a part of the city. But these jellies and these oozes and even some gelatinous cubes have been coming through here on the regular, and it's quite puzzling. We stop them while we can. Where we can, but they're tough to take down, as you saw. I mean, your barbarian friend there is about as tough as they come, and well, I mean, it sounded like it was pretty close. You said you'd run into one of these things before, hadn't you, and changed its behavior?
Well, not a purple worm, but someone kind of monstrous that became intelligent. A minotaur? You heard of them? He became-
Right. No, but didn't you talk about a cube that also changed
Oh,
his
yeah.
behavior?
Yeah, Cube too. Blah, blah, I don't know. He had a name actually, and he talked.
Is he dead?
No, he's kind of a housekeeper for a friend of ours. Kind of
And
mopping up
Pierce just
floors.
looks at you and just blinks. He just blinks a
Oh,
couple of
yeah.
times.
His name was
He's,
Glabagor.
Yeah, Blabberous up there.
Yeah, Glabagor.
Did
Very
you
nice.
say did you say a housekeeper?
Well, he
A
kind of
house
keeps the floors clean. Sucking
a
up
housekeeper, as
Yeah.
in he's a domestic servant
Yeah, for a lich.
for a lich.
Yeah.
And Pierce just takes like 3 steps back and puts his hand on his short sword.
You hang out with liches who have gelatinous cubes as housekeepers.
Well,
That is very simplified.
yeah.
There was a whole lot more going on into that.
He wasn't a lich when we met
Um,
him. He was a
Right.
skeleton.
He was just a kid.
Yeah, skeleton kid.
Little punk ass kid, but
Yeah.
he was a kid.
You are
Uh,
friends with a young boy or girl who turned into a lich and now has a gelatinous cube as a housekeeper.
Yes.
Friends
Well,
is
I
a
have-
strong term.
Yeah.
I have
More
nothing
of
to do with that, so you can still trust me.
throw him under the bus.
We're a team.
Well, I can
If
tell
we
there
go
was
down,
something
we all
different
go
about
down.
you, miss.
Yeah, so like we accidentally, became friends with him, and then like he agreed not to kill us, which was cool. But in return we had to give him one of our friends as an eternal servant. Or not servant, apprentice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was a lot.
You just gave over your friend in apprenticeship servitude to a lich.
More she volunteered.
Yeah.
I don't think she liked us very much. I think we made fun of her too much. But that's not the point.
You drove away one of your friends into the arms of a lich because you
No,
were so
no,
mean
no.
to her.
That's aggressive and wow, this really isn't painting us in a good light.
Nope. It's not.
Um
You had
I
to be
think
there.
Orla's a bit lawful evil too. Looking out for herself.
Really had to be there to understand.
Yes,
Mm.
it does sound a bit more complicated than I initially thought. So y'all
It
y'all are not really what we would call.
And he puts up his middle finger and his forefinger on each hand in these little claw-like motions and sort of, winks them at you.
You're not what we would call good.
good is relative.
Good is not relative. Good is absolute. Look, look, I am not above doing deals with the dirty people of the Underdark, but and I appreciate what you did here with the Purple Worm and helping me out. I will tell you, because of what Blingdenstone has experienced, they are not going to look kindly on me bringing evil people into the city. I'm
Well,
sure
we're
you
not
can
all
understand
evil.
that.
I'm not evil.
You're not all evil.
I don't
Well,
think they're
that's
evil.
that is
Not evil.
definitely a comfort, I have to say. You're not all
Yeah.
evil. That's
I view myself more as a neutral person. Just going
uh-huh.
with the flow, taking it as
Right.
it goes. Mhm.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Mhm. And if the flow went evil, then you'd be going evil.
Not necessarily. You got to think things
Oh.
out and make sure you're making the best decision.
Yeah.
and he's nodding there, but you can tell he's just like the body language, his arms are crossed, he's tapping his foot, you know, he's leaning back away from you, he's kind of looking at you sideways.
Well, we did what we
It's like
had
your
to do.
dog looking at you when you try to offer it broccoli instead of a piece of chicken. He's just like, what is this? Was ist los?
Well, you've helped us, so you have nothing to fear from us.
Oh, look, Miss, I don't doubt your good intentions, and you were kind enough to help, as I said. Personally, I have no problems with it, but I don't make all the rules. I'm just a scout ranger and a biologist, and I'm just out here to try to bring back some of the more useful organs and items that we can harvest from this creature that gave its life so that our city could try to rebuild itself. Now, it's all well and good that you help me, and on that basis, I can certainly put in a good word for you. But I imagine you're going to have to do a little bit more than that if you're going to get the help of the city and the king and queen of Blingdenstone. I mean, it's not like, as I said, we've been going through some tough times. We only just got back into the region a few years ago. It's been less than a decade, which is almost nothing for gnomes. And we've been dealing with all kinds of problems, slimes. There are also ghosts left over from the invasion itself, just wandering around. Some of them are not particularly dangerous. They're just sort of lost souls, which if we could put them to rest, that would be absolutely terrific. But there are a couple who are, well, obviously traumatized. And whatever it is that they're dealing with in their minds or their spirits, they just kind of, they replay them. They cause havoc. They're actually a danger to some of the settlement members who are trying to take over spaces that have been, or reclaim spaces that have been surrendered to time and the Underdark itself. So, I wouldn't say that we have a lot of spare resources, is the point I'm trying to make. And for the king and queen to set aside extra resources to get you to Neverlight Grove or to help you go someplace else, it's going to take something more than just you helping me out with this purple worm. Again, like I said, it's great that you did it. But technically, all you really did was step into the shoes of my missing partner. Because we were out here doing it already, and if you hadn't set off a bunch of my traps, I probably could have got this guy eventually. It would have taken me a lot longer, but it would be almost impossible for him to find me, and I would have been able to just run around and pepper this thing to death. Now, I will get us to Blingdenstone, and I'll make the introductions. You'll have to put the case forward, and I would not be surprised if they ask you to help out the city. And if you're good, as you say you sometimes are, then perhaps you would find it in your hearts to do the right thing. Right?
He
course.
sort of he raises an eyebrow. Right? And he looks at each of you very carefully, especially Delin.
Why me?
We always try and do the right thing.
Sure.
Just not.
You
What
you
you-
always try to do the right thing. Now that is a hedged response if I ever heard one.
What you have to understand is that some of the things that we have done to survive, to keep on doing our mission, so that we can keep on doing it. And we are trying to save the world from this mold and from demon lords and demon gods.
I see. So it's a case of the ends justifying the means.
Well, we have never been truly evil. We haven't killed someone that didn't deserve it. Yeah, we only acted in self-defense. Well, Cora did torture a guy, but That was
Wait.
she didn't mean to. That was kind of a
Cora,
Who's Cora?
she was
Cora tortured
friend.
somebody.
well, that was kind of a mistake. She didn't mean to. She
It was a
just
bad day for her.
yeah, she didn't know her own strength. To be honest.
How does somebody accidentally torture somebody?
Well, you see, she had full intention of not really hurting them, just like scaring them, and then she accidentally mustered all of her power, and then just whew, that guy was not as strong as we thought he was.
Nope.
He blinks at you some more.
Maybe we should just
I know
shut
it
up.
doesn't sound great. Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
Should have not told that.
Okay. I've never heard the story before. Maybe I
Well,
should stay
yeah.
with Pierce.
No.
A halo comes over Ola. She's
Well, she was a cleric too, a good cleric. She just kind of got a little bit too excited. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, because when I get too excited, the first thing I end up doing is killing somebody.
Well, the first thing you did when you saw us was trying to kill us, so you're not much better. We didn't hurt you anything.
He puts his hand on his chest. He opens his mouth. He leans back and goes,
I know you didn't just say that.
Drama queen.
well,
Wait, you did
true.
shoot me.
Well, you walked into my trap, and I didn't know who you were. As we all know, there are drow roaming all over this place.
Oh, so it was. Oh, so it was a trap that shot me, not you.
No, I shot you because you set off my trap.
Oh.
My trap is to try to restrain whatever walks into the trap, and I'm supposed to finish it off.
I thought you could see better than that.
I can
You
see
could see
just
we're not a
fine.
worm.
I can
We're not
see that
drow.
you're not a. Well, now hang on a second. Now, first of all, in the dark, y'all look pretty similar. And secondly,
Oh,
if I may just point out, the drow, if you didn't know this already, since you're new to the Underdark, they are famous for slavery. And it is not unheard of for the drow to have orcs,
pointing at Cracker,
humanoids,
pointing at Delin and Orla.
or even enslaved dwarves. I've never seen one of you folk,
He points at Byleth.
but I'm sure whatever you are, they've got some of them too. In fact,
Yeah.
quite well, yes, that's your enthusiasm is appreciated. But if I could finish my point without interruption, please. The point is, Blingdenstone used to have thousands of souls, and we are now down to about 300 plus another 100 in outlying areas. Most of those people were killed, and the other 1,000 or so that survived were either scattered to the winds in places like Silver and Moon. Don't know if you ever heard of that city. Baldur's Gate, as well as some other locations like Gauntlgrim, which is the home of the dwarves. And the ones that weren't scattered and the ones that didn't survive and hide, which I think only number a few hundred, or a few dozen rather, they were taken as slaves. Over 1,000 gnomes were taken as slaves to Menzoberranzan and other drow cities that participated in the attack. So you could be anybody and you would still potentially be drow servants. It wasn't until I saw your full composition, realized that you weren't actually trying to kill me or enslave me, and I saw that there wasn't a single elf amongst you, that I realized you were not drow. And it took some convincing, because the chances of me running into a drow party are significantly higher than running into whatever the heck agglomeration or confederation of weirdos you people are. And plus, look at this guy.
And he points at Poops and Pool.
I mean, since he's been down here, all he's done is just poop himself. That is just not sanitary. And what is this other one doing standing in his poop? That is just a very strange relationship.
He likes the nutrients.
Kind of symbiotic. Very nice.
We are being
We're
good.
always
We are
trying our
taking-
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we are being good. We are taking them home.
Mm-hmm. Which is a
Right.
good
We
thing.
actually bought them from a slaver to set them free.
And they're free to go at any point. It's not like
Yeah.
we bought them for slaves.
No. And we freed 3 other slaves as well. So we aren't evil. It's just that sometimes we need to do things that aren't good. And most of those things have been happening in a Temple of Loth, a Temple of Cyric. So it's not like we were in good places. We did something like you.
You were in a Temple of Loth.
Yep.
We stumbled upon it.
Yep. Well, we fell through the roof. to be
Yeah,
honest.
we kind of
Yeah.
fell in it.
Oh, I see. Yes, that happens all the time.
And he just sort of
Yeah.
shakes his head like he doesn't believe you.
Oh, I
We
can't
were-
imagine.
So we were
I can't
walking.
recall the number of times I've walked accidentally fallen through the roof of an evil drow
It-
goddess temple.
There
That's
was a hole in the ground. I mean, and we didn't see it, and yeah, and then we had to like go through it to find a way out.
you didn't see a hole in the ground that led to
There was
It's almost-
foliage.
it's almost as if somebody was making this happen to you. You're just telling me all these crazy stories like somebody made all this happen to you.
I mean, it's you can't predict what's gonna happen.
I mean,
I mean,
Next, you're going to tell me somebody's stopping you from finding the pearl that you supposedly need so bad.
Yeah, someone is.
Well, I do believe that Sean T has a plan for all of us.
God bless you.
yeah, she's
Oh,
got that.
is that a name of a goddess or a god or something?
Yeah, so you're saying someone's making something happen to us. I do believe that maybe the gods have some control over what we do.
Well, all right. I'm not exactly a religious man, but yeah, like most Svefneblin, I believe in the known gods. Look,
Well, the gods do interfere or intervene, but because our friend Cora, she was taken to Lathander's side to do something. So
the
Yeah.
one that supposedly killed somebody by accident.
she didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Well, not the one I'm talking about. She might have killed another one, but she just hurt him. And then she healed him afterward. She was good at healing and saving people.
Now, technically, she did kill somebody.
Yeah, but I wasn't there. I was only there with Merryweather.
And so it doesn't count.
No, not for me. I don't know about that.
Despite the fact that she's admitted it many,
Eh.
many times.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just speaking
Of
from my
self-esteem.
experience with Cora.
Sure.
Well, look, I'm gonna do you since you did me a favor. I'm gonna do you one in return. I will make the introductions. The king and queen will hear your stories, your plea, and they will make their own decisions. They have the responsibility of making the best decisions they can for the entire settlement. My responsibilities relate to harvesting purple worm parts and keeping the city safe by scouting out the territory around it and making sure we're not subject to an imminent attack. Now, the bit that I'm going to do as a favor in return to you, aside from making the introductions and vouching for your behavior so far, is I'm going to tell you about 70% of what you just told me you should probably not mention.
That sounds right.
If asked, I would not lie about it because they do have ways of detecting lies, not just magical. Sometimes, well, let's just say y'all aren't the best players of card games. And you, miss, I can see how you used to be a gnome because you're very much a surface gnome with all your giggling and your laughing. But if you bring that up and you start giggling, not only are they gonna think that you're, well, dangerous, your laughing is gonna make them think you're all psychopaths.
It's not dangerous.
Fireball.
Maddie,
It
go
might be a little
serious.
dangerous. I have a couple deadly spells.
Should have done
We're-
that.
We're going to agree to disagree, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, I'll try to keep the giggling to a minimum.
Well, I'm just
Until-
saying, you're not helping your cause, is all I'm trying to tell you. If you want help, you're going to have to prove it, and you're going to have to make it easier. But like I said, part of it is we just don't have resources. Even if he wanted to help you right off the bat, I think it would be hard, because getting you out to, say, Neverlight Grove wouldn't just be me taking you or someone like... I've never been, so I can't do it. And if somebody else was going to do it, they'd have to be able to come back by themselves. So it's going to have to be somebody more senior than me, which is, of course, there are very few people who are significantly senior enough and have been to Neverlight Grove, or they're going to have to arrange a caravan for your protection and the protection of those who are going to come back. Now, we do occasionally trade with Neverlight Grove, I think, as well as Gauntlgrim and even the Surface World and some other parts. It's not impossible that you could just hitch a ride, but they're not going to just send out a caravan just for you unless you justify it. That would be the case regardless of whether or not you came in with a checkered past. So as far as we're concerned, we're all good here. But I have to just tell you, if you're going to get the help of the king and the queen, you're going to need to prove that you're trustworthy, and you're going to need to help make things a little bit easier so we can spare up the gnome power.
What if they just like told us where it was?
Yeah.
Because we're pretty good at defending ourselves. And we don't want to put anybody at risk that doesn't need to be at risk.
Just
So if they just like gave us a map or something, do you think
no,
we'd be down for that? Instead of,
well,
expending the gnome power that we don't want to put any gnomes in jeopardy. I mean, we could
I think-
absolutely protect them, but like we have a bad track record.
Look, getting to Neverlight Grove might be easy with you in the group. Coming back, I don't think is that easy, because every time they go out in caravans, they go out in force. I'm talking 40 gnomes. This is a long journey, and Neverlight Grove, I range out a week from the city. And I'm not very large, but I can cover a fair amount of rough terrain because I've got good climbing skills and I've got the ability to move around these tunnels unseen. You folks traipsing around with your fish friend and your mushroom friend, sticking out like sore thumbs, half you can't even see in the dark. You're not going to be able to move at full speed unless you plan on fighting everything you come across. And I'll tell you, this purple worm, even as weak as it was not really that easily taken down. We had to set up traps. We had to ambush it. You wouldn't necessarily know you're going to get into a combat if you run into a drow party or Durgar slavers, or there's all kinds of things. I mean, you could just get caught in a rock slide or some sort of cavern collapse, And I will also just say, unless one of you in the party has some ability to unerringly find your way through the Underdark, you could easily get lost wandering around down here. And I don't mean lost as in you'll find your way out in 2 weeks' time. I mean, you may never, ever get out. You will die down here by yourselves. I'm not trying to be dramatic. It's not hyperbole. If you ended up walking down one of these purple worm tunnels, the only thing you're guaranteed to find is a purple worm at the end of it. So, you know, don't forget, the Underdark is not like the surface world. I've not been to the surface world, but from my understanding, it's a two-dimensional plane. Most cities do not sit above or below the surface. Your target is not necessarily an entrance that could be exactly on your map, but a mile above you or below you. In the Underdark, it is a three-dimensional world. So you need to figure out how to get there. And I mean, maybe you could do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't know your abilities. You seem very powerful. But unless you've got some ability to unerringly find your way to someplace, I think you're better off, especially if, as you say, you've been trying to stop the end of the world, which sounds like a high priority. It sounds like it's going to be a lot faster if you go with a scout or a guide of some kind, or somebody who knows their way. Again, you can discuss this with the king and the queen, but I do know that because of security concerns, they do not sell maps. I think you can understand that. And Blingden Stone is, I don't know why they decided to restart Blingden Stone specifically, since it is so close to Menzoberranzan. It is close to Gauntlgrim as well, so perhaps there's an agreement or a treaty of mutual defense there, so that this doesn't happen again. And we do have a rich vein of gems and gold, and there are also some very talented artificers and clockworkers who have come back with us to try to restart a trade there. But if you were choosing a settlement, you would not choose this location specifically, since it's so close to a major threat. You don't want to randomly walk into Menzoberranzan or the people that do trade with the Drow, because I guarantee anybody who can trade with the Drow on the regular is not going to be a very nice group of people, probably. Now, if you could pass as Drow, that would be different. That would make your lives a lot easier. You may not find your way to Neverlight Grove, but you would reduce the risk of you being attacked significantly. But I don't suppose you can all pass as Drow, can you? Or at least some of you could pass as Drow enough to make it seem like you were a slaver party.
I think the only ones that would stand a chance would probably be the tall humanoids, Orlandellin.
Oh, you don't look anything like up close. You don't look anything like Drow. I mean, if you're talking about disguising, they've got a completely different physiology. They're a little shorter than you folks. They're definitely not as muscly. And never mind the complexion, hair, ears. Look, I'm just saying, you can go to Blingden Stone and talk to the king and queen and see what they say. If I were you, I would just, I'll try to work out a deal with the king and queen. If you try to find your way to the Underdark, if somebody knows how to get to where you're going, that's fine. But if you don't, it's, things take a long time to get from point A to point B. There's no direct route. You can't just look on the horizon and see your destination. For all I know, there could be a thriving city of some Underdark race half a mile away from us, but it could take us 4 days to get there because we have to find a route through the actual earth and rock.
Well, if they need
I don't think
muscle
I've
to
ever
protect
missed a
these
surface
caravans,
You said
What
what
was
about
that?
a caravan?
well, I mean, we're muscly. We can handle like protecting a caravan to the next whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and I think that's a possibility. I don't know how often the caravans go out. You'd have to talk to the queen. She's in charge of logistics and supply and trade and negotiations. We don't do them every day. It's, we're not we're primarily an exporter of unrefined and semi-finished products. Gemstones, some magic items, but not very many. Occasionally we import things that we need, but we generally are self-sufficient. We've got some mushroom farms and fungi farms that feed us and create the raw materials for our beer and the other minor luxuries that we enjoy. We don't really need a lot from the outside world. So if the caravan's heading out soon, then of course you could certainly join that, I'm sure. But like I said, maybe the king and queen would just like your help. We've got ghosts. We've got these,
And he kicks the corpse of the rat-faced looking gnome.
we've got these creatures, whatever they are. We've got these slime incursions, which sounds like you know something about. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, you've got my vote of confidence. But your story leaves a little something to be desired. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, if we're just muscle, then, but I mean, at least we're good at it.
No
I think
one
that's probably
is
gonna be our
disputing
filler.
that. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, you also seem very creative. I thought you handled yourselves very well. And whatever that device is,
And he points at that weird thing that Delin was playing with that shot her in the face.
I would not be surprised if the artificers of Blingdenstone would not like to get a better look at that.
You think you can part with it, Dylan?
I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it.
It did hurt you.
It did.
It's also really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's magical, then they'd like to, maybe they can help you figure out what it is.
Hmm.
And if it's just some sort of a contraption, well, I mean, that thing was loud and it looked like it hurt you pretty bad. So I'm sure we'd love to see if we could reverse engineer it for our own safety and defense.
We'll see.
Yes, I see the evil coming out in you now.
No. I need to kind of get a feel for your people as well.
Well, as my god Kaladaran Smoothhands would say, all stone is shaped by water and time. And if the water here is trust, then time is the other ingredient that we need. So hopefully we'll have all of that. Right. Well, shall we head out? Is there anything else we need to do around here? I mean, I'd like to get the eggs and maybe try to find my friend, but are you all
Al?
right, miss?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hurting a lot.
I'm not trying to alarm anyone, but I do think I'm dying.
Sorry.
So polite.
You said Al as in you're talking to
No,
me.
ow. No. As an
Oh,
ow.
ow.
I'm groaning.
Ow,
I'm
ow.
groaning
Oh.
a bit. I'm ow.
Oh, so you're
Ow.
role playing. I thought you were like in real life. You're hurting a lot.
I'm hurting.
Well,
Well,
I need more games.
Well, stop wearing shorts in freezing cold weather and put on some sweatpants like the rest of us humans. Jesus, I don't know what to tell you.
They're
Put
wool
on a pair of
shorts. Come
socks.
on, man.
Put on some socks, for goodness sake.
we could take
So-
a short rest to kind of patch ourselves up before we move on.
It probably wouldn't be a
Sure.
terrible idea.
Yeah, think so
It's
too.
just short rest. Okay.
And I think my alarms are still set. So I feel like we haven't been talking for that long.
And if we've been talking, that's kind of a rest, isn't it?
I was totally asleep.
Nice. Role playing disrespect. Nice. Well, if you want mechanically, if you want to take a short rest, you need to declare it. But you can do things like talk. You don't need to be asleep. You can even, recover spell slots. You can even cast a spell. I think we've discussed that. It's a ruling. You could be, for example, recasting a ritual spell while you're taking a short rest.
Mhm.
You can be keeping watch. The only things you really can't do are fighting. And when I say casting spells, I mean, casting like ritual spells. If you're going to do like a proper full-on high-level spell, that wouldn't count as a short rest. Some of these high-level spells take like an hour or more to cast.
Mm-hmm.
All
I think we
right.
should take a short rest.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like some of you need a break.
to pick me up.
Does anyone have a mirror?
Is now really the time to check your hair?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm glad you said it because everybody was thinking it.
I'm just, or maybe someone could have a look at my eyes.
Oh, you have problem with your eyes?
I can see in the dark.
That's a bad
That
thing.
Sounds like a good thing.
No, because I
Yeah.
normally can't. So I think something might be very wrong.
Well, your eyes look very puffy, and they are extremely irritated looking.
And when he says that, the rest of you look into Orla's eyes, and she's literally got black. Her pupils no longer exist as pupils. Her irises are black. Her pupils are black. Her actual whites of her eyes are now gray, like dark gray that you can see in the light. And she's got these black, veiny streaks coming out of her eyes.
So how do I look?
You'll be fine.
It's
Great.
not
Yeah.
bad.
Not bad at all.
It's hardly noticeable. I didn't even realize until you mentioned.
So I just have
Really
my
cool.
normal, nice brown eyes.
Yeah,
Ish,
ish, yeah.
A bit darker.
brown-ish, in the dark, in the torchlight.
And he picks up a little bit of dirt from the ground.
Here, just put a little dirt on it.
No, I have
You'll
a
be
better
fine.
I have a better idea. I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy on myself. And I'm just going to make my eyes look nice and brown like they normally do.
I don't think thaumaturgy would do that. So thaumaturgy, the way I think of thaumaturgy is if you've ever seen the very old original Disney animated film, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, where Mickey Mouse plays the apprentice of a powerful sorcerer who you never really see, who leaves Mickey Mouse in charge of the wizard's lair, and he's been ordered to clean up.
I think
And
that's
Mickey Mouse.
Fantasia.
Is that Fantasia? Oh,
Because
yeah,
the
you're
Sorcerer's
right.
Apprentice is the one where he like studies under like Merlin or something.
Oh, right. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, it is Fantasia. You're right, and it's actually I think it's actually an event at Disney World as well. You can see the fireworks and things. He just basically gets a hold of the sorcerer, the wizard's whatever wand or something, and he tries to shortcut it. And he animates the broom to start sweeping up, and it's quite fun. But then, of course, as with all these things, it gets out of hand. I think that's kind of what you should think of thaumaturgy as. It interacts with the environment in very minor ways. If you were trying to change your appearance, maybe I would let you get away with minor illusion, but in minor illusion, it's really more about creating a static object, unless you're an illusionist.
So you alter the appearance of your eyes for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the second to last line.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
So you use it for a vanity thing?
No, I'm just maybe if I just make them look normal, maybe just that will change it, so it'll stay
Ah.
after the.
Okay. It
Manifesting.
changes. So it changes your appearance of your eyes. So oh, right. So this is the bit where you're supposed to make your eyes look. It's like intimidation.
Yeah.
Like make them
so
glow
you-
red.
Yeah, exactly. So you can make yourself. I mean, you can also use it to make it look normal. It doesn't have a limitation on what you can do with your eyes. It won't change your skin. So you'll still have these black streaky veins on your skin on your face.
Do I look fine now?
You look great.
Yeah.
I'm
Really
not going to
nice.
die.
No, you're not gonna die.
Okay.
Maybe.
I trust you guys.
And you're suddenly overcome by these convulsions in your stomach, and you start retching uncontrollably.
Oh God. Oh God. Dylan,
What?
do something.
I
Does
can't.
she have a pearl?
It would all be so much easier.
If you die,
If
can I get
only.
any pearls you have?
Can I get your loot, you good guy? I can try
The
something.
DM said I should loot things more often, so
Yeah.
I'm going to loot my party member.
I can try something tomorrow, but not today.
Okay, thank you. I hope I'll still be alive tomorrow.
Sure.
I think during walks we should keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
Like when you say keep an eye on her, do you mean like you sleep over there?
Yeah, just like sleeping next to her, like, are you dead yet? Are you dead? Are you dead? Are you dead?
I'm not
It's like
sleeping
turning
next
into
to her.
John Carpenter's The Thing, where everybody distrusts everybody else because nobody knows who's the actual alien that's
Ah,
killing
I
everybody.
love that movie. It's great.
You've seen that
I don't-
movie?
Yeah, of course. It was my first horror film. It's just great. Yeah.
That thing came out before you were born.
Yeah, but
Doesn't
I
mean
could.
you couldn't have watched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
true.
right. Okay. All right. Everybody get your Gen X. Don't get your Gen X shorts in a knot. Gen Z or whatever Gen you are, and these guys.
Don't
First up.
gatekeep.
Oh my goodness, boy! I sure hope 14 purple worms don't suddenly show up. That would be so bad, so unlucky. Oh, so sorry. Okay, so yeah. So this is how the culture wars start. Actually, I do like having people from different backgrounds and ages for this reason. Right. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Yeah, her eyes look terrible. I mean, the face around her eyes look terrible. Now her eyes look normal for a minute. So at like every minute, what do you do when you cast thaumaturgy that say, I want my, like, what do you say? I want my eyes to look normal.
I whisper to myself exactly what color I want my eyes to be.
So every minute you're like brown eyes.
Well, no, I'm going to. I wanted to do it once and to see if it would maybe the one alteration would maybe just over affect it. Obviously, it might not. So, and I'm just praying that it's going to keep looking normal after a minute. And so after a minute, I'm gonna look at Satina, and I'm like, Satina, do my eyes still look nice and brown?
Oh, honey. You're beautiful just the way you are.
Oh God.
Aw.
Oh God. I'm not gonna start playing that cheesy song. What's his name? Bruno Mars or something?
Mhm.
All right. So well, yeah, that's another one. You definitely need to get that looked after. We've got clerics in Blingdenstone. I'm sure someone can look at that if it can be healed. If not, well, and he points over at the purple worm. We've seen what happens when it gets too far.
it may
I don't hear.
it may be worth it. Now, just hear me out. Now, hear me out. It may be worthwhile as an experiment to let this thing run its course and see what
I like the way he
happens.
thinks.
Well, we kind of tried that before too, not with the mold, but with other things, and well, it's not advisable. Kind of had some parasites stuck in our bodies.
Hey,
Oh.
it didn't go terribly. I mean, it did end up being alive.
Yeah.
One of them. And I got some
Yeah.
good notes out of it.
And we let it
I
free.
don't want to be experimented on.
Well, you're
That's
not being
understandable.
experimented on. It's more that we're just watching, we're observing you. It's already happened.
I can try
Well,
something.
look, let's
And think.
let's put a
If
let's
this
put a
happens
pin in that.
again, then we would know what to do because we've been taking these notes and these experimentations. It's for the greater good.
Exactly. The
care
word
about
good
the
comes to
greater good.
mind.
I don't care
You
about the greater
don't
good if I die.
you
Oh.
don't care about the
Oh.
now that is an evil sentence if ever
No,
I
I
heard
just-
one.
I'm not going to
Me,
do anything.
me.
Maybe you should consult your god on it. See what she would like. And, you know, if you consult her and she's like, dude, you need to get this fixed right away, then you'll be like, okay, we need to get this fixed. But then if she's like, imagine the good that could come out of it. Think about the people that you could save. Or it could be very useful to have your eyes not glow in the dark, but being able to see in the dark. Then we wouldn't need a bunch of light, you know. I mean, except for Byleth and Dylan. What if you guys rubbed the black mold in your eyes?
Nope.
It was worth a shot.
Well, I can
Yeah.
actually make myself see in the dark if I want to. I just need to use a spell.
Well,
Yeah.
I can, for Byleth, I can help her now because I don't need to I don't need light, so now I can, maybe Byleth she's carrying some weapon, right?
Yeah, I am, but I'm also always carrying my my arcane focus, so maybe on that.
Okay, I will cast light on her arcane focus so that Byleth now can see.
Why don't you just
thinking
That is
that
really
way,
nice.
you know, that way we didn't have any light. That way we can travel around more, you know, inconspicuously.
I don't.
But I
need
totally
to
get
see.
why you wouldn't want to put black mold in your eyes. I definitely understand that. But I do have a jar if you do change your mind.
I have to sleep over that.
Yeah, that's fair. Are we gonna take a rest? We're gonna take a rest, right?
Short rest.
Okay.
Rest, okay. I just
need
need to
spell
figure out how much healing I would do. I was thinking maybe
Same.
Oh, you can just roll one at a time sequentially until you get to the number you want.
Okay, good.
You
So I'm
don't have to
D12.
decide it up front. So you can just go 1 and then 1 and then 1. Yeah, there you go. Woo.
That's 18. Oh god, I can't do math.
Probably should keep going. Do a 4.
Wow, you guys got hurt that badly?
Well, I'm at 9.
Yeah,
I
I
was at
know.
half.
I know Cracker had a tough time because she got dinged with 2 crits.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I'd like to turn to Dylan and just say also thank you for healing me in the warm.
Oh, no problem.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
I
let
will
you
keep you
die.
in mind.
Not yet.
Gonna make a heart, like kissing, like Kiss already.
What? 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 What is this?
Oh, you're cute.
Okay, so I can do 1/3 or
What is going on here? I
Slash.
feel like I've come into this late.
let's do 1/3.
I just said thank you. Nothing more.
I don't know what's going on with Laura. She's
She's just trying to
Hey.
make some drama.
Always. I'm gonna use my arcane recovery.
yeah. I'm getting the feeling that Laura in real life is actually one of those sniper people. She like hangs out in the back of the classroom until something kind of interesting happens. Then she makes like that quip, from like long range, and then just like shuts down the whole class.
Those are like my favorite type of people.
Always.
She
They
looks
always think it's
innocent,
so
but she's actually like the biggest stirrer of things. Like if somebody's wig has been torn out, Laura probably had something to do with it. But I thought you said to me in the girls' bathroom that you thought she was a total slut. What?
That's just evil.
Alrighty. So has everybody taken their short rests?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yes.
how many hit dice do you have left, Maddie?
I have 2.
2 left. Okay.
Mhm.
And Henrietta.
3.
Okay. And Yvonne.
0. You saw me roll them all.
Well, I wasn't paying close attention. I just assumed it would be 0.
Oh yeah.
And Laura and Rebecca didn't roll any dice, right?
No.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And Maddie, have you already used your recovery, or was that before
That
the
was
last?
my recovery.
Okay.
I've only got 1 of them. And I casted mage armor and made the hula hoop.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, Pierce is going to scout out ahead.
Oh, wait, sorry. One more thing. Sorry.
No worries.
During that short rest, am I able to bring in Salazar as a ritual spell?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think you can do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
So it'll take you a little bit longer because actually the spell itself takes 10 minutes, doesn't it, on its
Yeah.
own?
Yeah.
Wait, no. No, wait, hang on. I'm getting confused. So the spell itself normally takes an hour, and the ritual
that's 10
casting takes 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So it's the other way around. Yeah, but either way, it'll take you 70 minutes to complete the spell. So the rest of you will be standing around for 10 minutes while you're finishing up your ritual spell.
Okay.
No problem. And you've got to pay for it as well, I think, right?
It's 10 GP worth of coal, incense, and herbs. That's with components. But I have
So
my focus.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so the focus is for things that are not valuable, things like if you cast the spell web and it needs some spider webs. But if you cast something that has a value component, like Revivify needing the 300 GP diamond, then you still have to pay that.
Okay.
We won't go through the minutia of you having to go to the city, to the marketplace to go buy incense and herbs. We just assume that you've got it, but you'll have to take the money off your character sheet.
Oh, okay, for sure. I can do that.
Okay. And meanwhile,
Done.
the rest of you are trying to take a short rest, and Satina's over there like lighting up a joint. Like, dude,
Absolutely.
man, I wish I had some chips to go with this. And man, if I had my friend Salazar, we could just be hanging out. And
then I'm like,
know.
oh my god, I should totally summon Salazar.
Oh, that would be
Great idea.
awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Man, he just offering the joint to everybody else, and everybody's like, "No, I'm good."
Oh yeah, that's my entire ritual to summon Salazar. I just blaze it.
Now 2 of you have weird looking eyes.
For 70 minutes.
And I want to bring Salazar as a bat.
Right, cool. Yeah. And now the whole cavern smells like a Rastafarian after party. Get you a bat token. Bat.
Thank you.
Actually, I think I actually have a bat thingy. I do somewhere, but I can't find it. So I'm gonna just. Oh, here it is.
Does it just appear out of thin air?
As opposed to what?
I don't know. Just fly from an entrance.
No, he just pops up. Oh, well, hello there,
Ice cream.
Mr. Flappy.
Oh, you called yours Flappy too?
No, that's what the label is. It says Mr. Flappy.
Oh, that's because it's mine. He's my familiar. I usually use that as a familiar. Okay. Oh, didn't work. There we go. In players' journals, all players can be edited. Okay. Now, if you look carefully in the character section, there is now a bat that you can all access. So if you want to use him for something, you can't use it in combat because that's familiars can't do that unless you've got a specific kind of familiar or you're a warlock, I think it is. But you can, if you need to make a roll like a saving throw, you can do it directly from the character sheet. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to give it a try?
Yeah.
See if you can give it a try.
Okay. How would you like to create this character? Use.
You don't use Character Mancer. It's already set up. It's just one of those weird Roll20 things you need to reopen it.
Sheet directly.
Yeah, and remember to go to the right to the thing the weird adjustments thing first if you don't see it, if it's blank.
Oh.
Rebecca knows how to do it. It's part of the teaching.
I should not press.
Don't go pressing buttons you're not supposed to press.
I'm really bad at that.
You know, that's why people like you should not work around nuclear weapons.
That's fair.
Don't go pressing buttons.
Oh my. Okay, I tried to hit intelligence and it came up with error codes. But strength worked. Dexterity has error codes. Constitution does. Wisdom does. Charisma does.
No, whatever. I don't care
And
anymore.
so does initiative.
You know what? We can just roll dice. It's not that complicated.
Okay.
You're not going to be attacking anyway.
Yeah.
So, since you're all taking a short rest, maybe we should take a short rest in real life.
Get some more
That's
coffee.
real life. Oh, we're in real life. Oh my god. It's floating.
She's a troublemaker, isn't she? She's the biggest one in your group, but she actually is like the sneakiest one. Commentary.
You are a troublemaker in real life, aren't you, Laura? You really
Not really.
starting fights, just like
Sometimes.
lobbing in
Who
hand
said
grenades into
that?
all social situations, and
I like to speak my mind. It's just all coming to me.
But you come across as such a nice person, so it's like every time you say it, everybody assumes, oh, she didn't mean anything bad by it, but
But she did.
I don't.
but you don't.
Well,
All right, I'm gonna let you guys stew on this while I go get some coffee.
Okay.
all right. Bye.
Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says, roll initiative, yell back,
Here, hold my earrings.
Here, hold my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
Okay, cool. So you guys are fully rested. You guys are short rested. You've got most of you have got most of your hit points back. Almost all of you have got most of your hit points back. Some of you got through it completely unscathed by being very careful and making sure that I think one of you got through it completely unscathed, Laura Byleth.
Yeah, of course.
Some of you didn't lose any hit points, but you just ended up having, like smoky cat's eyes, permanent. After the short rest, you notice that Orla's eyes look much worse, while the illusion that she's casting on herself using thaumaturgy continues to make her eyes look normal. In between her castings, when the spell ends and then refreshes itself because she continuously keeps casting it, the pupils remain black, the irises remain black, and the outer whites of her eyes increasingly get darker and turn from grayish to closer to dark black, almost equivalent to the pupils and the irises. And the veiny black lines that radiate out from her eyes have now thickened, and they've spread farther down her face, and the actual eyelids and the skin underneath the eye now look black, and she's starting to look like she's overdone it with the mascara. She's got a combination of the cat's eyes and the smoky eyes and the whole thing. She's halfway on her way to being a humanoid raccoon, and
On full goth.
she's gone full, pure 1990s, theater club, Depeche Mode, torn black jeans and spiky hair looking.
That's my 90s.
I believe it. I want to see a picture of you in the 90s. I bet it looks amazing. And she doesn't feel any better despite having taken the short rest. Orla didn't take any hit point damage, so she didn't roll any dice, right?
I mean, I'm down 1 hit point, so I didn't roll any dice for that, but I'm technically injured. But yeah.
Yeah. And you still feel as nauseous and unstable as you did before the short rest. You don't feel any better as a result of it. You don't know exactly what this means until you try doing various things and you realize what the extent of the illness is. But it's not good. And even though Orla is not somebody who normally would complain necessarily, she might make comments about it. Those of you who are physically near her sense her discomfort. Whilst the rest of you are doing your things, you're casting spells ritually, you're sitting around whittling whatever you might whittle or patching up your wounds. Orla just sort of, is either sitting or standing or laying on the ground, and she's kind of just inadvertently moaning and kind of rolling around like she's got really bad belly cramps. And occasionally she just dry heaves uncontrollably for 6, 12, 18 seconds, and then she stops. She's got nothing left in her, so there's nothing else to come up at this stage, but it feels for the rest of you like she's definitely going through something that is making her feel very, very uncomfortable and is distracting her from most of the things that the rest of you seem to be doing effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Pierce comes back from having gone out ranging, looking for his partner, further signs of his partner's equipment or his partner, and also some eggs. It says,
"Well, I got as far as I could without feeling like I was out of earshot in case something happened back here. I think I know where the eggs are, but considering your friend's state, I think it might be better for us if we head back to Blingdenstone and see if we can't get her some help. Now, if you feel like you're up to it, we can go harvest some eggs, and that would be a huge boon. That would definitely go a long way towards getting some goodwill for the king and queen. But I mean, I can't speak for you and your party members. This is already a decent haul. If we head back now, I don't think anybody's going to be. I mean, maybe they'll be disappointed we didn't take advantage of the opportunity, but they'll be grateful that we managed to get quite a few samples of pheromones, so we can start manufacturing the go-away juice, as I call it. And I couldn't find any additional signs of my partner. It doesn't make sense that she would give up all her weapons and equipment, but she's capable of doing anything. She knows how to. She's been ranging a long time out here. She knows her way around the Underdark better than I do. And if anybody could survive without equipment or weapons, it would be her. So, this could take us a bit of time to track her down, even with my skills. And I'm not sure that your friend's got enough time to do all that. If she was well, I'd suggest we give it a try. But whatever happened to my partner, maybe she needs help now. But for sure, your friend needs help. So I'll leave it to you to decide.
What do you think,
She's
Orla?
looking pretty poorly. Yeah.
I mean, how long does it take to harvest the eggs?
Well, I haven't seen the eggs. I know that they're further away down some of these old worm tunnels. I think we can get there within the day, even traveling slowly and carefully, considering some of your party members are a bit more fragile. It won't take us that long once we get there. The biggest question is whether or not we are interrupted because a purple worm comes through, or even we run into somebody else like that drow party that came through here. They were probably looking for something similar. So, most of you seem like you're in pretty good shape now after having taken a little bit of a break. And we don't have to fight somebody. We can hide. We can, if necessary, we can try to negotiate our way out. People who are looking for worm eggs or trophy hunters or something, they aren't necessarily looking to get into fights with other people. I would be surprised if slavers were around here specifically, because they might stumble across one of the tunnels and use them by accident and lead them here. But most of the time, slavers don't look here because this is not the place where you would normally find a lot of traffic. And people who are purple worm egg hunters or trophy hunters tend to be hard to take down in terms of prey. Slavers tend to want easier bounties. They want to go after settlements and caravans. So it's really up to you. If you feel like you're up for it, I think it wouldn't take us more than a day out of our journey. If you're feeling like you're a bit more worried about your situation, which I understand and only you can tell us, then I'm happy to take you back to Blingdenstone and we can go see if the king and the queen are available for an audience and you can press your case.
Can I make a medicine check on Orla to see if I can kind of discern something? I know that I was poisoned by the mold when we were in Lol's temple, and
Right.
then I removed it with my paladin ability.
Right.
And we know that
And I can help. I have a bunch of notes on black mold.
Yeah, we know that Cud was infected and the vegetable stuff, the potato. So we have seen a lot of it. Can we kind of do a check to see if we can?
Potato.
Yeah, wasn't it
For
a
those of
potato?
you who, it was there was a
I don't
there
know
was
about no
definitely-
potato.
there was a potato, there
And a
was a
Radish.
pepper, a radish, a
Yeah.
carrot.
Radish.
Yeah.
Sounds
Those were all
tasty.
the little minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So you want to do you basically want to do a medicine check to see what exactly are you trying to discern?
I'm trying to discern how serious it is and if I can cure it with lesser restoration tomorrow.
Okay.
See, let's see. It's so the condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. So she is blinded but has dark vision, and she is kind of poisoned. So, but it's the mold, so it's not
Right.
regular poison. So
Yep. And was it Orla who cast detect poison and disease before?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can you just post that as well?
I can post it. Oh, both.
Yes. Okay. So very good. Yes. Go ahead and do go ahead and do a medicine check. If anybody is doing anything, let me know.
I was helping with my notes, and
Mm.
well, this happened to this guy, and it had this effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah.
I'm holding her
Okay.
hair.
I will.
Which
I will try to hold Byleth closer so her light can kind of like be like an operating light.
ooh, awesome.
I'll try to light the way so that they can see. Doing
Okay.
my best.
And I'm also gonna cast guidance on myself.
Nice. Okay, so sounds like you've done about as much as you possibly can. That's very good. Yeah, go ahead and roll your medicine check with all the additional benefits,
Mhm.
and let me know what you get.
So that's 17.
Right, but you've got advantage because
did too.
Satina is helping you with the
So 22.
nice. Yes. Okay. So at first you're slightly struggling with it because first of all, Orla is a little different from the rest of you. You realize though that Orla is a human, much like all the other humans you've come across. All of you have encountered humans in some form, although only maybe one or two of you have really lived amongst humans. You realize there's something different about Orla. She is not a human like you've seen before. And I'm not just referring to her pigment and melatonin count. It may have something to do with where she's from. You also understand that this is very similar to the black mold you've had before, but in one main difference is that in previous iterations, it was the infestation or the manifestation of it came across as more of a disease. And this, slightly differently, is magical in origin. And it isn't a disease per se, which is why Orla's spell to detect disease did not show this was diseased.
Is that because
Neither-
it became blended with the entity of the purple worm
Ooh,
at like a biological level?
good question. I think that's a separate investigation check,
Okay.
but you can have advantage on that because you guys are working together.
Sick. Investigation. Mother trucker. 10. I'm so mad. I have a +6 and this is booty.
Well, the best part is that you actually rolled a 1 on the first one, so that's even better. Or 2. Yeah, it's a 1. So,
Yeah.
so you think that this is you do think that the fact that it has, you can't find what the precedence is, right? You're not a biologist by training. You're an art historian. Not
Yeah.
exactly the same thing. The fact that you like taking notes helps, and the fact that you spend some time around others that have been infected by this helps. You've got this nagging sensation that perhaps you're on the right track, but you don't have the evidence necessary to prove or disprove this theory.
Tina's gonna be like, oh, why didn't I study biology?
Yeah, don't go for the arts and sciences. It doesn't for the arts. It doesn't pay off. If you're gonna go to university, study hard sciences.
Oh, it
Yeah,
has
don't-
paid off.
Don't do the thing you love. Do the thing that'll get you places.
Yeah. Do I feel that maybe a dispel magic can cure it? If it's
Ooh.
magical?
Yes, you feel that dispel magic might be the solution here.
Okay. That's a drag. That's a level 3 spell. Okay.
Which also, aside from it being level 3, think about why this isn't. If you think about what is going on, right?
Yeah.
Not only is it's not just any old disease, which would be potentially bad enough,
Mhm.
but because it's magical in origin, it tells you that there's something else. Usually magical things don't just happen accidentally, right? Magic does exist. The phase rest is an example of how things that are magical can affect other things, and they're natural in origin conceptually. But can the most powerful, wealthiest, most important people in the world get access to dispel magic spells? Yes, sure, maybe. The common population, even like the middle classes, even the people who have access to a decent amount of wealth, would they even be able to get access to that? I mean, it's not even a question of money at this stage. It's like how many people can cast that spell, right? So ultimately, you're fighting a rearguard action if you don't get to the source of the problem.
And it might not work depending on how powerful the spell is as well.
Exactly.
So, but I have to wait until tomorrow. Anyway.
Are you telling me that it might be a magical effect?
Yeah. I'm kind of talking while investigating.
I could see maybe what kind. Does anyone have a mirror?
Nope, not in my inventory. I can create some water. You can see a reflection of yourself.
You could use a weapon, use the reflection in that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
My axe is really shiny.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
shield. If you have a metal shield.
Oh
polish
yeah.
Mhm.
I can try just, between dry heaving, take 10 minutes to cast detect magic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, give me a percentile die roll, please.
Have the pearl.
What? Have the pearl.
Does that work for like diseases and stuff, or like
I
stuff
don't
like
know.
that? Even if it's like, or does it only work for items?
I don't know. I don't have the spell. I just know that it might. So I don't know.
gonna look it up.
What was your score?
60.
60. So the rest of you listen as she tries to start casting this detect magic spell ritually. And as she speaks, her voice just gets fainter and fainter and fainter until Orla is just barely whispering. And Orla, you know you haven't changed your voice, but you can hear that your voice is diminishing as you speak. So from now until either you resolve this issue or this thing runs out on its own course, in order to be heard, you basically have to shout everything.
Oh.
What? What'd you say?
Oh, just oh.
What? What was that?
I just said like just an oh.
What? Huh?
You need to shout.
Oh. Oh god. Oh.
Everything.
Now I get it.
German literalism at its finest. You successfully complete the detect magic spell, though. It does work, and as you finish it, the blackness around your eyes and your face gets darker,
Hmm.
and you realize it's probably necrotic or necromancy in origin.
That is not good.
And Orla is starting to smell funny as well. Not like horrible. It's not quite like Cracker after a really strenuous battle. But it smells strong enough that all of you notice it. And Sponge seems drawn to Orla
Okay.
and starts touching Orla's face. But he doesn't touch the black bits.
What do you know, Sponge?
Sponge spores everybody. She has the same problems that my family have. She's infected with the mold. She's rotting from the inside.
Oh
Hmm.
boy.
And your family didn't get better over time, did they? Didn't
Over
go-
time, they became part of the collective and spun off from the main collective. And they hear whispers from Zuckmoy.
Hmm.
They behave very oddly. And Sponge shrinks back from Orla and says to the rest of you telepathically without Orla hearing, she needs to be burned.
Hold that thought. We're going to try and cure her first. Do you know how long we have before it's too late?
I don't know. She's not human. She's I'm sorry, she is human. She's not a myconid. When we die, our bodies decompose fairly quickly.
For us, it takes anywhere from a few hours to a few days to become lost from the main collective and to become part of this new black mold. For her, it may take longer, but I don't know. The use of magic as an accelerant is a possibility, and the phase rest effect may also slow or speed things up. It's very hard to tell. I'm not an expert on your kind of bodies and the use of magic generally. I would say that considering how quickly it's deteriorating, since it's only been a short time, I don't know. It doesn't feel like she's got months or weeks even.
We have to do something about it as quickly as possible.
We need to get her to the city or
Yeah.
the town or whatever that
Yeah.
is. Settlement.
I agree.
And Aura, maybe not to use magic. Try not to use magic because it seems that it got worse when you casted your spell.
Okay, I will not use any light then, and
Yeah,
I
try
will
not.
keep my eyes the way they are.
I think that's for the best for now until we figure this out.
I
Check
just
the
don't.
check the bag of holding, the Hanky Birds journal. See if there's a weapon in there that you can use. That way you're not completely defenseless. If you don't have any weapons to begin with. I know I just have a pole arm.
I mean, I have my crossbow.
Okay.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
Pierce will look at all of you and say,
Well, I don't know what that thing is you found inside that worm, but it appears to fire a projectile like a crossbow does. The principle seems to be similar. You aim your little hole there at whatever you want to hit, and then you do whatever it was that you did, Dalin, and something comes out the other end and makes the other thing go splat.
Yeah, maybe you could use that, and then you can have a little bit more protection. Maybe it's a better, more aggressive weapon or something.
Can I just talk to you guys over here for a second?
Yeah.
away from Pierce? Or
Away
Orla?
from Orla.
Everybody
I was-
except Orla, come over here.
I will
Orla's
see
just-
that.
How does Orla feel about this?
I am feeling awful.
It's like high school all over again.
I was holding your hair. I have no
Oh,
ill
no.
will. It's I'll talk over here with these guys. You just rest. You just rest. It's okay. I have a personal question. I need to ask them about my body odor. So guys,
Does Orla stand there and like sniff her armpits when nobody's looking? Like, is it me? Does she check her breath?
yeah, you smell
You know,
bad,
like-
girl.
I might close my eyes and just start praying.
Brush your teeth while you're at it. So you know,
Damn.
Sponge just told us that his people heard whispers
Mm-hmm.
as the
Mhm.
black mold infected them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance, like, is it really a good idea to give her the most curious and mysterious weapon and powerful weapon to somebody who could, I don't know, hear whispers from a not so good entity?
Yeah, but she's also got, like this like heavenly thing, where like of like good and stuff. So maybe that'll help her not be swayed by Zuckmoy. I mean, Zuckmoy's
Oh.
evil, and I'm pretty sure her god is like good. So maybe it'll help with some defense.
Well, I just don't want to get stuck in the crossfire of that fight.
Me
True.
neither. But I mean, I'd rather her be protected. And we could take her if need be.
As you all look back over at Orla, and Orla is just like, "What's going on, guys? Hey, hey guys, what are you talking about?"
Do you like my hair? Do you like my hair? That's all I'm just checking. I just changed it a little. Looks better up.
Does.
So
Poops
yeah,
and Pool
I'd
senses
rather her
the
be protected,
Okay.
even if it's a gamble. I know it's a gamble, but I mean, she's
It's a
one of
gamble.
us. We've got to try and protect her the best we can.
For now.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I just thought
Holy
I'd point that out,
smokes.
you know.
Yeah,
Holy smokes.
I was thinking the same thing. I just don't want to be shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, me neither. I'm always in front
Well,
of her.
let's keep her in front
She's
of
always
us.
behind us.
She
Yeah.
won't go in front of us. She always runs back.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, as you said, I think
Oh.
that we can take her if she turns.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right.
we are 4 against 1. And the gun, the thingy did hurt, but it didn't kill me straight out. So
So at least we know.
yeah. The only question is that do I want to give it away?
You know what? If you're able to use your magic. She's not able to use her magic.
I know, but it's cool.
I know
You're just
it's
loaning
cool.
it to her. You're just
Well,
loaning
yeah,
it to her.
You'll get
I'm
it back.
sure she'll
Yeah,
share.
I want it back. You know, I can hide it if I want to. I can just turn into a wolf and you won't get it. Then you have to cut me open.
I mean,
It's just like
Whoa.
It's
you
like
know what?
hides it
Thinking
inside her
about it
body.
now,
yeah, it's
Thinking
like
about it, just
Little Red Riding Hood when the wolf swallows grandma. Have to cut me open.
oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, what none of you realize is that Violet has secretly rubbing her hands together in glee. Yes, it worked. My revenge. Orla's now the outsider. That'll teach you to leave me out.
Just looking over at Orla, being very happy.
Orla will
Like rubbing
remember
my
that.
hands together. No, just kidding,
Terrible.
of course.
Terrible.
I'm going to take out the gun and give it to Orla with a sad, sad face.
Can I actually hold it in one hand while holding my shield?
I don't know.
It will require 2 hands to hold this and control it. It's 2-handed,
Okay.
like a crossbow.
Okay. Do you think it would be not maybe better for me to just not attack and instead just keep my shield up to not get hit?
That's not a guarantee, and plus, then when we fight things, we'll be down a number.
Okay. Okay, I will put my shield away and I will take the weird thing.
Keep it safe.
Pierce just stands behind Orla. Just remember to point it at whatever you're shooting at, which hopefully won't be at me.
Same.
Unless you attack me again.
Whoa, hey now. He puts his hands up. I thought we were all past that. That's bygones be bygones.
Of course, yeah. Sorry, I'm not feeling good. I might, I'm not the best conversationalist right now. Sorry.
Oh, what you're saying is if something bad happens, you're not responsible. That seems like you're preparing to shoot me in the back there.
Oh.
not start pointing fingers. It's not gonna end well.
All right. Look, if you think this is a good idea, I trust you. You know, I don't. I've only just met all of you. I think I'm going to range far ahead, though, just to make sure that if you do manage to try to shoot me or whatever it is, you're not going to have the best shot. You can't see in the dark, can you?
I can now.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, there you go. How far can you see? Can you see all the way over here?
And he points at the far wall.
Can I?
You can see the Phasris just about here. Oops, sorry. But the far wall is a little bit too far for you to see clearly in the dark.
I can't see you.
Well, I'm standing right next to you right now, so you can see me because I'm not trying to hide in the darkness. But if you cut that light, you wouldn't see me anyway. That's got nothing to do with your new abilities, I think. Your dwarf friend can't see me if I was standing next to her and I chose not to be seen.
A handy skill.
Well, it's one of the few things I get to do. I don't get to shoot fireballs like some of you, or magic missiles, or whatever it is that this thing does. And asking people questions that they can't answer. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, enough jaw-jawing. Let's get on to Blingdenstone. It's going to be a little bit of a hike. I'll go on ahead. Now, you're not going to bring that weird-looking thing, are you? Or do you plan on lugging two bodies?
And he's referring to this one that you found with that bizarre-looking weapon.
Kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Leave it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
Are we take the were rod?
Mm,
I don't know.
do we need to?
Do we need to
Well,
I mean, you said that the king and the queen hated, so maybe we can show them that we are good people because we found it. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense.
well, I see what you're trying to go for there. I guess my recommendation is, you know, as I said, there's this tension between these original Blingdenstonians who never left but ended up becoming affected by whatever this is, and who have some grudges against those of us who came back. Now, it's obvious from looking at this corpse that this thing has been digested by some creature. It's got acid damage. It's clearly not been attacked by any explosives, such as your magical spells, or any arrows, such as what I might be wielding. So I think any reasonable person would understand that we are not responsible for this thing's death. Personally, as I said, I think in times of stress, all resources should be utilized for the common good, which in this case would be the general defense of the city. And whatever their current affliction state, they are or once were gnomes, Sverfneblin, deep gnomes and people who have been forced down from the sunlight, but still adhere to a certain cultural norm. And I'd rather make peace with my cousins than try to fight heaven knows what with these new organized molds and slimes, plus this black mold affliction that you're talking about, which apparently seems to be the same thing. And dealing with all the ghosts of Blingdenstone's past and the ever-present threat of the drow coming back. So, just my my 2 copper pieces, but my view is if you bring this thing back, give it a chance to be taken back by its people, maybe it'll help smooth things over. Plus, it's the only clue we've got to what happened to my partner, Crystal. Clearly, somebody at some point knew Crystal because this thing is wearing Crystal's armor and using its weapons. And if it leads to an answer, well, I'd quite like to know what it is. But I can't carry all of that and all the other goodies that we've taken, so if you choose not to bring it, then we'll have to leave it here.
We can bring it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll carry some stuff if you need me to.
Well, I thought you'd never ask. All right. Alrighty then. So, what's the marching order?
Well, I'll go in front. Although I don't know where I'm going, so you should probably go in front.
Well, I think that makes sense. That's probably assumed. Now, it normally would take us several days to get there from the route. Well, I don't mean normally. I mean, the route I took to get down here took me several days. But, you know, this purple worm that we managed to finish off here, he was generally coming from the direction of Blingdenstone. What do you say we roll the dice and see if this may save us some time?
We can do that.
I mean, what are the odds of 2 of these things in the same tunnel?
True. What are the odds?
50
I feel like you would have the best answer
Never
to that.
zero.
Oh, right, yes. That's what we call a rhetorical question.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, no grammar majors here. Very good. Let's head out then. All right, so let's have a quick roll of the perception, the old perception dice, if you would.
Everyone?
I mean, you don't need to. You know, if you
I didn't mean to roll
if
with that.
if some of you
I'm
feel like
rolling it.
just
Do I
walking.
Do I see normally?
Oh my god.
Do you see normally? What do you mean by normally?
Like, is my perception just as good as before?
Oh, technically, your perception would have been at disadvantage before. You had light, so you had limited resources you had limited range. But now your perception without it in the dark, with using your newfound dark vision, is as good as before. Oh, sorry. Did I say? Yeah, you didn't. I say you had advantage or something?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. You have advantage on anything related to sight in darkness.
Ooh.
So it's normal. It's regular dark vision, but it's a little bit more clear.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does she still see in black and white like the rest of us, or like grays? With dark
Yeah.
vision?
Her dark vision is the same as everybody else's, but she's able to see things more clearly. Her eyes, the rest of her feels terrible, but it's like her eyesight has improved dramatically. Her general eyesight and ability to see details.
Neat.
Sorry, Orla, yes. I'm referring to Orla now.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I tripped over the word neat.
Oh, right.
My bad. I only just learned how to talk. I'm still figuring it out.
No need to apologize. I'm sure it was my fault. Okay.
But
So
it's just related when I see in the dark.
It's related to your dark vision specifically.
Okay.
So your eyesight isn't necessarily better in bright daylight, and your dark vision isn't what we would call superior dark vision, so you don't have 120 feet of it. But when it is dark, when the light is dim light, you have the ability. So just as a reminder, you technically, when you're using dark vision, if it's full darkness, you're like seeing in dim light, which would be a disadvantage. You would be able to see normally in full darkness. Everybody else who has dark vision would have disadvantage. They would be able to see. If it's dim light, they would see normally. When it's dim light for you, you see normally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so full darkness, ability to see normally, dim light, advantage.
Yep. And the rest of you have normal dark. Now, we don't always role play it out, but actually what we've been doing is that you guys have been successfully using the light cantrip and the produce flame cantrip, and also occasionally lighting things on fire, like torches and things, which is the right way to go about it. Okay, so what were the rolls for everybody?
11.
11.
17.
Nice.
Sorry, what? 4.
No.
No perception roll for Cracker, it sounds like.
Yep, what?
4, yeah. And don't forget, Orla still needs to shout. So, like if you guys are trying to be stealthy, it's like either she's really stealthy or nobody knows what she's doing or saying. And we had a 17 roll.
Yep.
And that was the best one, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to roll something for Pierce? Laura, do you want to roll for Pierce?
Sure.
And we might as well have.
Sorry.
Really?
Oh boy.
He's seeing nothing.
Damn.
Jesus.
He and I are up front. That's not good.
And he's
I
the
wanna
ranger
send-
as well.
I want to send Salazar up with Pierce.
Ah.
Nice.
To keep a lookout as well.
Salazar has blind sight. So he is not affected by the darkness at all. Excellent choice. Well done.
Me too. I totally knew that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I mean, I read it, but I didn't understand really what it meant.
Blind sight is echolocation, like what bats use.
Word. Okay, that's I had the general idea, but like I didn't think
Yes.
about it when I was gonna send him up front.
Yeah, so mechanically it's like perfect vision in darkness. There's no, the way they've written the rules, there's no detail needed. You don't need to do anything. So I've seen some people incorrectly play it wrong and say you can't see things or you can't sense the exact location. That's ridiculous, because if you know anything about bats and the way they swarm in dark caves, hundreds of them will fly around in caves in really tight, close formation and avoid hitting each other. So,
Really cool.
Bats are cool.
bats are cool. I like bats. Cool. Yeah. Pierce comes back.
I don't know what's wrong with me today.
He keeps rubbing his eyes.
Maybe I got some dust or something in my eyes, or somebody rolled badly, but I can't see shit.
Wasn't me. I'm not fault. No.
You know, I don't know what your party dynamics are, but I feel like you're the troublemaker, Byleth. No offense. And please don't shoot me.
I don't even have a gun. It's all Orla.
I just meant the finger guns you two seem to have.
Pointing at Satina and Byleth.
They're quite useful.
And I don't even know what a gun is. So,
I just made that up. Like, oh, Sounds good,
Really?
doesn't it?
Oh yeah, very creative. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Now, can we get going?
Yeah, I don't feel like I have a lot of time left, so maybe we should get going.
You're role playing, right?
Yes, I'm role playing. I mean, like,
Because it's also getting close to 12 o'clock. So
no. I mean, I'm role playing. I say I don't think I have much time left because I feel very sick and I might literally die in these caves.
I thought that's what you meant. I just wanted to make sure because it's entirely possible. It's like I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. I've got to go to sleep.
Let's hurry.
Yes, let's hurry. Let's hurry. Okay. So you guys are wandering. Thanks to your party druid, you do hear some noises. And Pierce now, because he can't really see a whole lot anyway, actually isn't ranging that far ahead. He explains it as there's not really much point since he doesn't seem to be able to discern a whole lot, and he's a little bit worried that if he gets caught out there by himself, he's just going to give away the party and then end up having to have the party, help him out, which would make things worse, actually, which is tactically very clever of him. You do manage to walk down this tunnel for a couple of hours. You come across a fissure that apparently the purple worm just sort of burrowed across and through. So if you think about how big a purple worm is, for this purple worm, the fissure would amount to taking a very large step, right? Maybe even a running jump. But because the purple worm is so long and it's got, segments, it can just sort of burrow through it, hold its segment up like a snake, and then keep going. For the rest of you, it's actually a small chasm. And you need to figure out a way to get across it or else go back. The chasm or the gap from the ledge you're on now, heading down, you're heading down, you're at a gradient. Your dwarf senses that it's about maybe 15, 20 degrees. So it's not super steep, but it's steep enough. Things that you lay on the ground that are round will roll on their own at some point if you give them a little bit of a push. The gap is about 20 feet long, which is pretty long for most of you. And it is pretty much a smooth tunnel. So you're mostly in what is essentially a purple worm tunnel, 10-foot diameter, uneven, rough, but it's been covered in a little bit of purple worm slime, and it's not like the smoothest, driest. It's not super slippery, but it's not like the smoothest, driest surface either. And you can't necessarily, none of you, even Pierce, can see how far the chasm goes, which suggests that it's fairly deep.
Is there any
Well,
stalagmites or stalactites on the other side? Or is it just a smooth cavern?
It's just a tunnel. It's literally, yeah, from the way it looks like the other purple worm tunnels you were in earlier. It's just literally a tunnel. It wouldn't exist except for the fact that the purple worm came through here. There are no stalactites in the chasm itself. It's literally just like the earth came apart.
Yeah.
And there's some cliffs, the cliffs and ledges and things, but not like an obvious, like you can create an anchor if you wanted to try to create one somehow. But it's not like there's an obvious thing that's sticking out of the ground just saying, hey, hook me.
If I were to get to the other side,
Dwarf tossing.
good idea, but not what I had in mind.
Oh, darn it!
Not as light as I used to be. I have Misty Step, which is 30 feet.
I think that's true for all of us.
And you said it's 20 feet across, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just write that down. So I could Misty Step over there to try and find somewhere to anchor it, and anchor in a rope,
Mhm.
to get everybody across. Like we tie it kind of like a zip line type thing. That would be dangerous, but we could definitely do it. I wish I could like grab somebody and then Misty Step, but it doesn't say that I can do that.
Another spell.
Yeah. You can post it up, but
Yeah, it just says you teleport up to 30 feet.
yeah. So technically, when you teleport, you obviously don't leave behind everything you were wearing or carrying. So you could, if you can carry something or somebody, I'll let you Misty Step with somebody on you, like they're riding you, on your shoulders or something.
How do
But
I? What is
you'd have
the,
to be able to carry them.
Yeah, what is the equation for how much you can carry?
It's 15
It's
times
something-
your strength is your carrying capacity. If you are pushing or shoving or pulling, so you're not actually carrying it, just trying to move it, it's double that amount. So it's actually 30
Okay.
times your strength. But this
Alright,
is
so I can
again,
carry
it's also
120.
well, yeah, but it's 120 net of all the stuff you're already carrying.
Yeah, I was already.
So if you like strip down to just your basic robe and your slippers, we'll call that 1 pound, you'd have 119 pounds, and you can try to carry somebody who weighed 119 or less. But I'm
Yeah, I
looking
don't think
around at
anybody does.
I'm looking around at a half-orc barbarian, a dragonborn.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, how much does Sponge weigh?
Ooh, good question.
Sponge and Streaker.
Yeah, Sponge is he's definitely lighter than 119 pounds.
Okay.
He's
So I have
I-
70 pounds of wiggle room if I keep all my inventory.
Yeah, I'll say Sponge is about 60 pounds.
Okay, then
I mean, mushrooms are pretty light, right? So,
yeah.
and he's pretty big, but he just takes up a lot of space. He's not really,
Yeah, okay.
But
Could also carry me.
Sponge, yeah.
You're 70 pounds?
No,
Well, she
but
can
I
wild shape.
can wild shape into a rat or something. Then I won't weigh a thing.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh, true.
Could I carry both of them?
Yeah. If you can
Yeah?
fit them all into your pockets. Do you have pockets? Oh, no pockets. Sorry.
Oh, but I got boobs.
Also, maybe the belt
Again,
for your thing work.
I can just be
I
in
was
the
just
backpack.
joking
Yeah.
about I was
So-
joking about the pockets, but I keep forgetting about you women having your front pocket. I mean, this is like something that seriously, it's like
It's
even when I was
universal.
working out a lot and had a huge chest, I never thought put something between my pectoral muscles. So it's okay.
Yeah,
Don't
I'll
use it for
carry
things.
Sponge and Dylan across.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna like relate to the party like, hey, I'm gonna take Sponge, I'm gonna take Dylan, and I'm gonna Misty Step across. If you guys throw me an anchored rope across the chasm, then I can catch it and attach it to something.
Yeah, right. I can do that.
Okay.
What are you going to anchor it to on the other end?
We're gonna figure that out.
Great.
Oh, let me post the spell. My bad. Oh, I already
Yeah.
posted it.
You posted it. Yeah. So what is Delin turning into?
Just a small rat.
Just a small rat? Okay. As in like a mouse-sized rat?
Yeah, nothing fancy.
Okay.
Not a fancy rat?
And where does she hide out? Does she hide out in Satina's beard?
Yeah.
Or boobs? Backpack?
in the bed with my head sticking out so I can see. So
Nestled safely in the cleavage, holding on with two paws onto the beard strands, looking out. Okay, and Sponge just sort of leans in. His cap hovers over you while he sort of climbs awkwardly onto your back like a gigantic log. Shrieker starts shrieking because he's being left behind, and Sponge, gives him a little universal sign of silence. Shh. Although he doesn't, of course, make any noise. Shrieker dies down. Just throw a Shrieker. Oh gosh.
Yeah, just throw him across the chasm.
Yeah, because if you miss,
Oh,
right, it's
well.
it's only like.
It's only a baby. Then we would know how far down it goes.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Oh.
Sure you aren't
he
all
will haunt
evil.
you in your dreams. It's just the shrieking. Then you go insane. Sometimes you can still hear him. The abyss.
No, okay.
I think
Do you
Laura's
think
a real goth,
Salazar?
Celtic, witch animal sacrificer in real life.
True.
Do you think Salazar would be able to carry Shrieker? He's got little claws.
Yeah. What is
And
Salazar's strength?
That's a fantastic question. It
I
is.
feel like it should be 2 or something.
It is 2.
And then he's small. So is he tiny or small? I think he might be tiny.
He's tiny.
Yeah. So that'll
But I
be.
mean, bats carry like fruits and stuff. I don't know how big Shrieker is.
Shrieker is fairly small. Yeah.
Okay.
Salazar can carry Shrieker.
Nice. So you can carry him across the chasm.
Shrieker doesn't like Salazar's claws in his cap, though.
That's super fair.
All right, so you managed to get a bunch of the party members across. You just Misty Step, poof, poof. And your ranger friend goes,
Now that's a handy trick. You'll have to teach me that someday, if I could learn it.
We can try.
Pierce will look at you and say,
Now, I think if didn't I see you? Didn't we go riding down one of those tunnels where you were some kind of a big animal with 4 legs?
I turn into
Oh,
myself.
the
First, I climb out of Satina's beard, and then I turn into myself.
Thank you.
yeah. Suddenly, like your bustier bursts open. I'm back.
I'm back. Yes, I
Throw your
can.
hands up all dramatically. Poof.
Yeah. I can turn into some strong animals. Yes, I can.
Well, I don't know how the rest of you feel about all this. It looks like the 2 strongest ones are going to be you, pointing at Cracker, and your friend there who's just become this very powerful beast. The rest of you just have to shimmy across the rope. Now, I can do it. I don't know about the rest of you. Some of you don't look all that agile. Otherwise, and then what do we do with you at the end there? You just sort of jump, hope for the best, slam into the rope wall at the other end, and then hope to hang on and climb up? Is that...
Okay. Oh no, I was planning on just tying this rope to one of the Phase Rest crystals and coming across. We're gonna have to leave this rope behind though.
Oh, so you guys have been walking for hours. There's no crystals left. This is just
Oh,
a
okay.
smooth tunnel.
Smooth tunnel, that's right.
Yeah, it's a semi-smooth tunnel that's been going for miles, literally miles and miles. There's no outstanding feature other than this chasm. There's nothing to attach it to.
Well, The last person could attach themselves to the rope, and I could levitate them over.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
Nice.
It's only 20
Yeah.
feet. Could somebody just jump? I mean, if you have good strength.
20 feet jump? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you like, I have an 8 long jump.
Just keep
That's
the
what
rope
running
on me.
starts.
Yeah, tie the rope on me anyway. I mean, if I jump and I miss and I go swinging down, I'm gonna eat a bit of rock on the other side, and then you just pull me up.
Yeah.
And just as you jump, I can tug on it and give you some extra speed.
Sounds good.
super.
Looking forward
What
to
Although
could
that.
go
I
wrong?
like the levitate idea. I mean, basically,
Yeah.
you
Me
just
too.
Cracker just
Yeah.
turns into a
Much
Thanksgiving
prefer
Day
that.
parade balloon and just gets you're just walking around for like an hour while Cracker's just floating up there and somebody's pulling her
No,
along by the
you
waist.
can't go down yet.
Oh, a balloon.
We're
You
not
can't go
finished.
down. You can't go down. All right. So you guys are so which of these great plans are you guys going to execute?
All of them.
Excuse me.
All of them.
All
Yep.
of them.
I kind of improvised.
You
At
jump
once.
across, and just as you're about to start to fall, you start levitating up, and
Yeah.
and then you go up past the upper lip of the tunnel on the other side, and now you're kind of falling against the opposite direction. And as they pull you on the rope, your face is being dragged along the edge of the chasm wall, and you're just getting like
Push
the
away from it.
world's
Can
worst
you-
dry shave, and just like, oh, this is terrible. I'm exfoliating way more than I need. This is horrible.
Can you just levitate anyone? So maybe we could use the levitate option when someone like falls, maybe?
Do you need to
Yeah.
touch them? What's the range?
No, I just have to see them, and they have
Okay.
to be like, yes, you can do that.
Why
but
don't you
I feel
post
like
it?
you're all, yeah, sure, you're all willing to.
60.
Yeah. So the difference between this spell versus, say, the what's the spell I'm thinking of?
Why?
Featherfall.
Mm-hmm.
Featherfall is specifically designed to stop people from dying when they fall off something. It does nothing except slow your descent to something that is manageable, and it is a reaction spell. So if you've got it prepared and you're fighting in on a cloud giant's castle in the middle of the sky, then you're going to cast this thing as soon as one or more people start getting knocked off the castle. The difference here is that levitate requires an action, which you can definitely do as a reaction if you prepared the spell in advance. Like you took your action to ready the cast a spell action. I'll certainly let you use levitate in that way.
Yeah. But if the person doesn't fall, then the spell is used.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't do it all the time. But in this case, in a sort of prepared setting use, it would definitely work. Now it does have the ability to be used as an offensive spell, which means somebody can resist it. So if for some reason Cracker just suddenly says, I don't need your stinking spell, and then decides to resist it, she can roll a Constitution saving throw and avoid the spell altogether, potentially, and still slam into the chasm wall just to prove how tough she is. Because Cracker's a little bit of a headstrong barbarian half-orc. So,
But if she readies the action to cast it, say if Orla is climbing over, and she readies the action to cast it on Orla if she falls, can she, if Orla doesn't fall, can she then cast it on Cracker on the other side? Instead, so she uses the spell if the trigger doesn't happen.
yeah, you can, depending on how you word the trigger, sure.
So if Orla doesn't fall, I cast it on Cracker instead. Can you have kind of two conditions to the
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have as many conditions as you want. It's I studied logic in university, so I know how to write this out as an actual logical argument if you need it.
Okay.
But it's a
Oh,
good
Alright.
question. Excellent tactical question.
all
Of
right.
course, you could always just tie the rope around everybody's waist and then make a basically make a charm bracelet out of half your party
Yeah.
and just pull the charm bracelet one after the other, right? You know, you've got 50 feet
Yeah.
of rope. You only need 5 feet per person.
True.
That's really heavy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. So if you're going to do it one by
Yeah.
one, it would be a lot safer. I agree.
My animal form is strong, but it's not the Hulk.
An Umber Hulk? That's a dangerous creature. Causes confusion when you see it because it's got all these weird looking eyes. Terrible to fight. Alrighty then. Sounds like you guys have a plan. Now, the only thing I would suggest is if you're going to cast this spell, that's a great idea. Well, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Now, we don't know what's living in this chasm. Us jumping across it or misstepping, that was pretty safe because nothing saw us, right? We just disappeared from there and reappeared over here. In this chasm, there it looks like, and he sort of carefully peeks out from underneath the lip of it and looks out, down, and then up. It's obviously been here a very long time. This is not a recent geological event. Something probably lives in this chasm. Now, if we're going to be dragging people around, floating them like, balloons or whatever it is, you got to be a little careful that you don't get somebody's attention. And I mean, I can shoot anything that's attacking us, but if we can discourage whatever it is that decides to try to make a meal out of one of you, that's fine. But one of you is going to be holding the rope over there, and one of you is going to be holding the rope over here. And if you're going to tie the rope onto somebody's waist and drag them, then you're going to need 2 people pulling and pushing. If you anchored it on one end, and I happen to have a hammer and some pitons, we could do that, but then the person would have to climb on their own power, which is much more dangerous. And if they're not anchored by the rope, even if you cast that spell, it's not going to necessarily move them unless they can hold on to the rope itself. So by the time you cast the spell and they're already fallen, they're going to still have to try to find their way back to the rope. And this is all under the assumption that we're going to do this without having some interference by some hungry creature or something else that might be down here. There are cave fishers and ropers and all kinds of all sorts. Carrion crawlers. Just keeping it, I'm just making sure you understand. Everything down here finds a way to survive. And I don't know what's at the bottom. I don't know what's at the top. And I don't know what's living on the ledges below or above us.
We're gonna be careful, I think. Aren't we?
All right. Well, you guys know what you're doing. I'll suggest that why don't I just hammer some pitons in here and then go across? And this way the rope itself will be anchored at the very, very end of it. You can still seesaw it back and forth with somebody tied on it. But at a minimum, if something happens to one or both of you, you don't just drop the rope and it just falls into the chasm.
That's a good plan. I didn't have any pitons left.
Well, I happen to have some.
And he pulls out a bunch from his backpack.
And a hammer. Never leave home without a hammer.
I know. Look at this one. I pull out my warhammer.
Well, there's no need to try to show off. It's fine. It wasn't a competition. Jeez.
Okay.
So he starts chipping away at the rock. Ding, 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 ding. And finally he gets a couple secured. And he ties the rope down. Now he needs to do it sort of at least 5 feet away from the lip. So that'll be 5 feet. And then you've got 20 feet just across the ledge. It'll take 5 feet just to tie somebody into it. So at the other end, we'll take another 5 feet. And each person who holds onto it or is tied into it takes up 5 feet. So if you have just one 50-foot length of rope, it won't be enough if you're going to actually tie something around somebody's waist and pull them across. Do you see what I mean?
Is one side higher than the other?
Yes, the side you're originating from is higher than the other.
So couldn't we just like tie a little loop on that rope and make the little, wee zip line?
Yeah, that's what Maddie was saying.
Okay. So if
So-
they don't have to pull themselves across so much.
Yeah, gravity will help you. The biggest risk is anything, if you create a pulley system that allows you to move freely, there is also a risk that, you tell me how you do it so that you avoid falling, aside from the levitate spell, which is a good solution, but the levitate spell doesn't guarantee you hold onto the rope.
If it's like at a pretty steady downhill, could just put up like something to hold on to, instead of like trying to like do these intricate knots for like a seat or to wrap it around somebody, and just like you could even use your weapon, just like throw it across, hold the handles, and then ride it down.
Yeah, I like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Then
Like I said, it's a strength check to hold on, right?
yeah.
And what happens if you fail?
And if you fail,
See you in the next life, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not very strong, but I might. Yeah. I might die here.
I know, I'm wondering, I mean, you're the least likely to make it across here.
Several of you have very low strength, and of course, Orla is suffering from something,
yeah.
and we don't know what the effects of that are exactly.
Well, if we tie them onto the rope and have a second rope onto the person as well from the other side, you just pull them across. But
But still could alert
No,
something
that's-
because they would have to fall
yeah,
if there's something down there.
The simplest plan is just to tie the rope around someone and then just pull the rope from one end, the receiving end, and the other person on this end here at the origin just holds on, and then they kind of just get passed along like a fruit basket or a piece of washing on the linen line.
yeah,
But it just leaves them a bit exposed in case anything goes wrong, and it takes two of you at least to manage the washing line. So that'll be two of you tied up and the other person quite exposed. So the rest of you would have to be able to help protect them. It's not impossible. I mean, if I was here with my partner, we'd be doing something somewhat similar. We would tie the ropes around our waists. We would secure them on anchor point. We would somehow try to get across the chasm and secure a rope on the other side, and then we would pass it along for anybody else who could get their way across it. It would take us a bit longer to secure it and do it in a fashion that's extremely safe, but we'd also potentially be traveling with a larger party if we had to do something that intricate. And we'd probably be using some illusion magic, to be honest, to give us a little bit of protection, or at least some camouflage. I don't suppose any of you are illusionists. I've seen the pew pew, but I haven't seen the whole woo. And he does his finger wriggling.
Not really. I have minor illusion. Nothing past that though.
Yeah, minor illusion's useful, but I think you're gonna need something a little bit more fancy than that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I can make the ground shake a bit as a distraction, but
I don't think that's going to help you if you're trying to secure a rope to some cavern edges. I think that might act and also keep from waking up whatever's sleeping in the caves upstairs.
Yeah. Cracker gives her a funny look. Where'd that idea come from?
What are you trying to do? You trying to kill us all?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
Pierce.
whisper in your head.
Pierce just kind of like steps away from Orla again, like you. And he whispers to Satina in Gnomish, "Are you sure she's all right?"
She's doing her best.
Yeah, I'm.
Bless her heart.
My brain
Bless her
power
heart.
isn't at full capacity. Okay.
All right. So, what's the plan? Let's try to finish this before everybody has to go to sleep.
Yep.
In real life.
Okay, so we got the single rope all the way across now. And
are you securing it on both ends?
Yep.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding. So in that case, Pierce is going to shimmy across because he's the only person who can. I mean, somebody could throw the tools across, but he's reluctant to do that when he has to climb across anyway. He doesn't want to lose it down the chasm.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll shimmer across. So somebody want to roll for Pierce?
I'm so afraid to lose him. Sure, I'll roll for
I'll
him.
do it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So who's
Not
rolling?
Laura.
Wait, only
Yeah,
one
let Laura do
one
it.
roll. One roll only. I don't want to have like two rolls, one fail, one succeed, and somebody goes, "Oh, but it was my." Okay, so Laura's doing it.
No, I said not Laura because she
Oh,
was
not Laura.
terrible.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, me. I'll go.
Okay, Yvonne's going to do it. Okay, so you're good, or Yvonne.
Oh
Pierce
my
is going
god!
to- Well, let me fucking finish. Let me finish. I didn't finish. Jesus.
Okay.
So first of all, he pulls out a very small rope that's been tied up in a weird shape, and he uses this for himself. That's got a little hook. It's not big enough and sturdy enough looking for the rest of you because you're all like 3 times his weight. But he hooks it on for himself, and he spits on his hands and puts on his special gloves, and you know that he's going to be an expert at this, so he has advantage on this.
All right. Hope it's enough. There you go.
Yeah.
14.
So he hooks on and he just slides across fairly effortlessly. Laura, give me a D20 roll. Okay.
14.
All right. And he lands at the other end. He hammers that end in, which was being held by Delin in her. What form is Delin using? Direwolf again?
No, I was
Horse?
thinking about saber-toothed tiger because it has 18 strength.
Okay, yeah. And how is Delin holding onto the rope?
I was
Just biting
thinking
in her teeth, or
getting Satina to bind it around my belly, and also grabbing it with my mouth. So I have 2
Okay.
anchors. Yeah.
that's a great idea. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 1 down. Poops and Pool looks very nervously at all of you. How are you going to
Let's
get
go, little
Poops and Pool
buddy.
across? So what are you going to do? Are you tying the rope around Poops and Pool? Because there's not really that much space if you're going to pull him across.
How heavy is Poops and Pool?
Poops and Pool. I mean, how do you? I mean, what do you do? Do you ask him? Like, that's a bit rude. Excuse me, miss. Do you mind if I ask how much do you weigh?
I go over to him and I just pick him up.
And he doesn't know what's going on, so he just like immediately
Yeah,
freaks out and starts squirming in your hands. Roll a dexterity check.
And he's gonna do that while we cross anyway.
Right, so he's
19.
like squirming around like a fish that you caught on a line, just trying to get out, and he's all slimy. But you manage to grip on really carefully, and you grab him by the gills, and he just calms down immediately because he can't breathe. And he looks at you with his big bulging eyes, like, "Please don't eat me." You think he probably weighs about 130 pounds, maybe 145, somewhere between there. I mean, you're not a scale,
Carry him
so
across.
at the end, so the two of you coming across like Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia escaping,
Yeah.
escaping from that.
He's on my
weird-
back.
Okay, all right. So he's going to wait till the end, which is perfect for him because he doesn't want to do this at all. The longer he can put it off, the better. All right. So there just leaves Rebecca. So just leaves Orla and Byleth, I think.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
Okay, go.
Byleth is who's the one casting levitate?
I will cast levitate.
Now, are you going to try to? What are you going to do? Are you going to cast levitate on yourself first, and then just let them tow you across?
I was thinking on casting levitate on the last person, or like
Mhm.
Orla, because I feel like she's weaker than me,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like that would make more sense.
Well, I'm just asking, what's the security in case something goes wrong and you fall?
I don't know. I feel like there is not. That's the fun of it. I don't know. Uh,
Is Orla secretly sharpening a dagger, looking at the rope?
Revenge.
Or feather with a really long pole attached to it? Tickle, 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 tickle.
I just shoot the rope.
Ooh, wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
Not even trying to be inconspicuous.
Did she stand there and just say, "Oh, no, this is just in case something attacks you while you're on the rope"? I'm just all right.
Looking out for
So
you.
what? Yeah, just looking out. It's covering fire. So Byleth, what's your plan?
Oh gosh.
Or how do you want everybody else to do things? Do you want to be tied to the rope and then they just haul
Yeah.
you in, but then you don't have enough rope? So how does that work?
Oh really? That doesn't sound good. I mean,
I mean, some of us have some bedroll. Maybe we could tie that to the end of a rope.
All right, everybody give me a D20 roll. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oof.
Oh man.
Unsurprisingly, Delin goes, "Wait, don't we have a second rope?"
Oh, mine didn't come in. Sorry. I'll roll again because it didn't show up. Oh,
Cracker
19.
goes, "Wait, don't we have a second rope?"
like 5 seconds after Dylan does.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
wild shape, so I
form, so
can't
she's got-
say anything. I'm just, oh my
She
god.
remembers after she turns. She's like, the rest of you just see Delin just like take her right forepaw, slap her forehead with it, and then howl miserably. And she just keeps like using her hind leg to like slap at her backside.
Yeah. Let's just hope that it's just that it's just me that has second rope, because then we're screwed.
I have some sticky rope.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
I only have 18 feet of it though, because I used 2 to make the torch.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh.
So you need about 5 feet of this to. You could easily fashion something that would stick like a harness or a chair or something.
Yeah, I think a harness would be a good idea. I
Okay.
feel like it's more secured.
Yep.
Sounds very good.
So let's have an investigation roll for you
Oh, okay.
or whoever's
Oh, okay.
whoever's doing the inventing.
16?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're not an expert at this kind of thing, but it's a bit, you think about it, it's a bit like some of the arts and crafts stuff you used to do when you were,
Yeah.
learning
love arts and
the
crafts.
basics of arts. And before you know it, Violet is, her ample dragonborn tail, is wrapped up in this sticky sort of. It's almost like a very large diaper, and she's just wrapped up in it, and you've attached it to the end of one of the spare weapons, the crossbow that Orla no longer is using, and that's acting as sort of the sliding mechanism. So it's not very balanced. As soon as she sits down on it, she tilts sideways, but it does actually hang on long enough. And you think that the sticky web is actually very, very strong. Like Violet, despite weighing, what was it, 300 pounds, 145 kilos or something, 140 kilos. She tests it and she's
270.
okay. 270. So she's able to
Yeah.
sit down on it safely, and you think this is going to work.
Good.
Giving a thumbs up.
All right.
Tina's gonna try not to laugh.
Right. Oh, wait, how did you do that? Satina's on the other side.
Oh,
Oh,
Ooh.
I only have one more
That's-
Misty Step.
yeah. So you fashion this thing, and then you realize, oh, she's over there. Oh well, fuck that.
I'm gonna give it to Salazar to bring over.
5 feet of sticky web plus a crossbow. Well, the crossbow's on the other side. 5 feet of sticky web.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get this done. Salazar is going to struggle.
You're doing great, buddy. You got this.
He turns around and he gives you the bat version of flipping the finger.
He loves me. That's what I tell myself to
And-
make myself feel better.
Yeah, exactly. Violet sits down in this little cradle, this little ski lift. And all right, so when Violet, you're ready to go across, you're not going to cast levitate on yourself, obviously, or presumably. Okay, so do you do anything else? Does Violet, does she enjoy it? Is she yelling, whee?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna go like woohoo. Cool.
Excellent. Go ahead. Right. In that case, Rebecca,
Yeah.
why don't you
Oh,
roll
no.
2 d20s?
2d20s.
Oh, be
Yeah.
quiet, man.
Violet?
Well, the we is going to attract the attention of something.
Oh, great.
You all watch as Violet cannot contain her childlike enjoyment of this thrilling ride. And a large shape swoops across the cavern. Yvonne, would you like to roll a d20 for us, por favor?
Okay.
God.
Oh my god. 19. This
That's
is
so
getting
funny.
interesting.
You don't see it clearly, but it looks like a giant kind of bird-like creature, but it's large. It's the size of a horse, and the wingspan fills almost the entire chasm as it goes across, and it claws at Byleth. Actually, it needs to make 2 attacks. Henrietta, do you want to roll the second one?
Sure.
Wait, one. It's the part.
Oh,
No, 19 again. But I called 1. I
Okay,
said
so
it was.
Okay, so you used
I
your
didn't-
portent on one of
but-
the attacks.
Well,
Fine.
yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Yay. If only we could do that in real life, right?
Mhm.
So one of them completely misses, but you get bitten by this thing that comes flying across. You, of course, get to see it fairly clearly.
ooh.
Ooh. So we're like, ooh. Not great. Like starting to cry.
Yeah, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can.
And it bites you for 10 piercing damage.
Oh. All
Oh,
right.
wow.
And you can give me a Constitution saving throw as suddenly you hear this thing screech.
Oh.
Oh.
Do you want me to die?
I don't want you to die. And, you know, you die, that's on you. You are stunned. You continue to slide, and you will finish your slide, but you are now stunned.
Cool.
And actually, everybody else, also give me a Constitution saving throw, because you're all within
boy.
20 feet of this thing.
Oh.
Ooh.
Just have to.
Wow. Good saves.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
What is
Jesus.
these saves?
Very nice.
Just have to check if +2.
Pierce fails his. Delin fails hers. You're both stunned.
I can
So
never.
Pierce can't provide any.
The Constitution saves. I can never get them.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
crap.
You're death with those. Sponge isn't going to be involved in this. Pierce was out. I think that's everybody, right? So, yeah.
Oh, does
Hmm?
Salazar need to make a save?
Yes, he needs to make a save.
Okay. Does he get some sort of like disadvantage because he's relies primarily on his ears?
Oh, yeah. Does it say that in the bat? I forget.
Oh no,
That's a
I
good
was
question.
just thinking because he's a bat.
I think that's a very good reason.
Yeah, it only says that he has advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing, so I guess it would work like kind of in the opposite way.
Because it
Um,
doesn't say that there's a disadvantage, I'll say no.
Okay, cool.
But thank you for being honest.
All right, he's got a.
In real life, you would think that.
That's-
Oh, and
That is a 1.
that's fair. That's fair though, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so this thing flies around again. I guess we're technically in initiative, but it's almost 1 o'clock. So how does everybody feel about finishing this thing?
I want to kill it.
I'm happy to.
Okay, good. I'm more worried about the Europeans, frankly. Okay, so I'm just going to have this thing go last or first, whatever you want. And we're just going to go Maddie, Henrietta, Yvonne, Laura, Rebecca, because that's what I see on my screen in terms of what's logged in. So to save time. Okay.
Mhm.
So those of you who failed, unfortunately, you're stunned until this thing comes around again. So you're going to have to skip this turn. Maddie, would you like to do something?
I would like to magic missile it at
Okay.
the 3rd level.
Okay.
That's 5.
All right.
Wow.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Okay. How much damage is that?
damage. 4, 7, 9, 12.
12 points. Okay. I'm gonna write that there. Very good. Well done. Let's see. Henrietta, you are stunned.
Yep.
Delin is stunned. Yvonne is not stunned, but she is tied up on the rope, so she can't attack. And plus, this thing's flying in a chasm. It's already gone.
Yeah.
It's already gone past. It made a swooping past an attack and then kept going, so it's sort of 20 feet away from where the rope is. But does Cracker want to try to do anything else? Cracker can move to the edge and then ready a long-range attack weapon and shoot if she wants.
Yeah, that's what I think I'd rather do. I grab my javelin and I move to the edge, ready
Okay.
for it to come back.
Okay. You can also just attack it if you want. It's within range of your javelin.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. I'm going to throw a javelin at it. What the hell
Okay.
was that? And I'm instantly triggered into a rage
Yeah.
because I'm super freaked out.
Yeah. It's
Makes
like when you
sense.
see that spider you weren't expecting on your bed, your pillow.
Yeah, exactly like that. Hold on 1 second here. Okay.
And
So that's with advantage then, right? Thinking of it.
oh yeah, because you have rage on. No, that's reckless attack, isn't it?
That's reckless attack. Yeah.
Are you recklessly attacking?
No, I'm not
Okay.
recklessly attacking because there's ropes and stuff. I'm not going crazy.
Okay.
I mean, I'm mad. But I'm not crazy. Okay. Oh, damn. And I'm very bad with the javelin,
The
apparently.
javelin disappears into the chasm, and just to be clear, if you miss, you're not getting back the ammunition.
Yeah, I know. I have just in the process of taking it off my list.
just telling that for the benefit of Rebecca, who's very good about recovering ammunition.
Yeah, I have one left.
Laura, Byleth is stunned, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and Rebecca Orla is not stunned.
Yeah.
She heard the screech. She saw the thing flash by. She saw Cracker run to the lip and throw a javelin, then curse at herself.
I can see the creature, right?
Yeah, if you run to the lip as well, which you're not,
Yeah.
you're not currently at the lip, I assume. But if you run to the lip and you look into the chasm to your right, it's gone past from left to right, from your
Okay.
your perspective.
Okay, I will try to get just so far that I can see it, and not any closer. And I'd like to try to shoot it with the gun.
Excellent. Okay, so when you do this, what are you trying to physically tell me what you're trying to do? I know you understand the concept of a gun in real life, but tell me what your character is trying to do and how she goes about it.
I will point it. I mean, because I saw Dylan shoot herself, right?
Yes.
So I know that she pointed it at her head, and that's where something happened. So I know which end to point at this creature. I don't think I quite know what to like press, I guess, but I will just then try to move around stuff that I can move around and try to see if I can trigger the mechanism that Dylan like shot herself with. And I should try. I try to remember what happened.
Excellent. I would like you to give me a wisdom saving throw to avoid
Okay.
panicking. Okay, so this is a kind of a stressful situation. Orla's been going through some. Actually, can you give me a second roll as well? Same wisdom save. Okay, right. So this is kind of a stressful situation. Orla's been going through quite a lot. She's dealing with her friend being attacked, or her, frenemy. If we're being honest about it. Right, so she's a bit conflicted. Do I want to say her? Do I not? And she's dealing with a new device she's never used before. So she avoids panicking outright, but let's have a quick investigation check as well to see if she manages to figure out how to use this thing. at least the first time.
I have inspiration. Can I use my inspiration for advantage on
Yes,
this?
absolutely.
Okay. Investigation.
Yep.
13.
Okay. So let me just ask you a quick question. In your mind, in Orla's mind, what is Orla's goal when she's doing this? What's the end goal? Like if she could make the end result of anything relating to this encounter happen, not just I want to shoot the gun, but what would she like to have happen?
I want to hurt this creature.
Okay. So Orla aims out. She leans into the edge of the cavern. She figures out that there's something that's moving. She pulls on it, and unlike Delin, who was just sort of fiddling around and fired at once, this thing suddenly just goes. Roll 12d10.
Ooh,
Wow.
I'm getting that gun back. That's for sure.
Why did you do it that way? Okay. All right, that's
5d10.
40, 59. You can do. Can't you do 12d10? You can't just program it to do 12d10? That's
Maybe
fine.
if I write it in there, I just used the thing at the edge, and it just gave me the option of using 5.
Okay, right. So it's 59 points. The Cracker, who's also standing on the lip, watches as 12 streaks of little bits of light, looking a bit like the magic missile spell that Satina constantly casts, suddenly disappear into the darkness, filling a grid square of about 20 feet. And this thing is flying around in that area. Why don't you give us a saving throw for this thing as it tries to dodge all of these missiles?
Okay.
Yeah, Rebecca. And it is hit. You watch as at least 4 of these missiles pepper it. It's taking all this damage, and it just looks back over its shoulder, screeches again, and just flies off.
Oh, well done.
Satina's very jealous.
I'm on Death's Door, but I'm not useless.
The end of this thing is completely smoking, and as you hold it down with your finger still, it keeps making this sound: click, 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 click. You sense with your relatively good investigation check that whatever allowed you to do this is now empty or done, and probably you need to find some way. If it follows the crossbow principle, you need to find some way to reload it.
Oh.
Pierce looks from the other side of the cavern and goes, "Fucking hell."
Yeah.
You hear above you some screeching from other things that sound similar to what you just encountered. But whatever it is that came swooping down has disappeared, and nothing else seems to bother you. The rest of you continue safely across with your attempts to cross the chasm, undeterred and undisturbed. Whatever it was, they've all learned their lesson.
She broke my gun. It's not working anymore.
Well, we don't know it's not working anymore, right?
Well, for me, it's not working anymore. I don't know that it has to be reloaded. I can just see you still pushing the button and nothing happens. You broke it.
The bird is gone now, so that's good.
Yeah, it is gone. After a few more hours, you manage to find yourselves at the end of a lit chasm with a bridge made of zirkwood, which is that mushroom that's used for construction purposes, and ropes leading to a small door. Pierce says,
This is one of the back roads into Blingdenstone.
And he does a little whistle and does a little hand signal that most of you standing near him see. You don't see anything in response, but you hear a similar whistle coming from the chasm that the stalactite is located in. It's a large natural cavern. And he signals to the rest of you to follow him across the rope. The rope bridge is a little bit rickety, but it's sturdy enough to hold everybody, including your 270-pound Dragonborn party member. And as you enter the door, you go down a natural occurring cavern, and then you open up into a larger area that is clearly worked stone. And as you walk for another 30 or 40 feet, you come around a bend and you see carved into the cavern itself this impressive door that is made of stone and is outlined with metals. Maybe some of you might recognize it. You think it could be something like mithril or adamantine. It's very expensive and very tough and rare, certainly on the surface world. Pierce makes a call with putting his hands to his lips. And he shouts out his name.
Pierce Bluebottle, returning from a long range with guests of Blingdenstone and allies.
And the doors start to slide open slowly inward. You see a guard comes out from behind the gate, and he waves you through, asks for your names. He takes them down, and he says,
King and Queen are in their usual offices. If you're hungry or tired, you are certainly welcome to refresh yourselves at the tavern. Pierce can show you the way.
As you walk through down some very complex mazes, Pierce explains,
it's all part of the defenses that we put in place after we moved back in here. This is an actual maze with defensive corridors that, although you can't see them, are heavily booby-trapped. Anybody coming through here is going to end up with a very unwelcome greeting. It's to buy some time in case we get attacked again.
Once he leads you through this maze of warrens, you come out on the lip of a settlement built into a natural cavern. You can see lights, which are obviously there for ambiance, since the gnomes all have dark vision. There's the bustle and din of a community hard at work trying to scratch out a living. There is the smell of foods, cooked rotha and sauteed mushrooms, many humanoids living together densely. Although the Sverfneblin are generally very neat and tidy, the fact that there's so many people in an enclosed space makes the smell of human habitation inevitable. And of course, the smell of burning mushroom stalks used as fuel to fire the various things that go with an industrial activity. And Pierce says,
well, if you want to go see the king and queen, I'll take you there now, but you can also rest up at the tavern. It's called the Purple Worm, and it is actually that purple worm I told you about. And I think this is a good place for us all to part company for a little bit, if you're not absolutely pressing to see the king and queen. And we'll deal with this tomorrow or next week.
That sounds great.
Alrighty. Well, I'll go check in with the ranger station, and I'll find you at the Purple Worm then. You guys can look around. There's merchants. You can buy yourself some things that you need. Look for that pearl if you were so dead set on it. And rest up a bit. Try the foods. We've got all kinds of interesting things here. You got mushrooms of all kinds. Anything you like made of mushrooms, I'm pretty sure we got it.
Well, thanks
And
a lot, man.
And that is where we're going to stop today.
Okay.
What a session.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn's like, give me that back.
Yeah. Broke it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, damn it.
At least we didn't all get killed by this bird.
I'm never gonna
True.
lend you anything again. That's for sure.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I know we overran by quite a lot, but we're all set up for Blingdenstone. And I think I will try to run it. I'll let you guys know for sure. If for some reason I can't do it, but I want to do it, so I'll try very hard to get it all done by the end of today or tomorrow, and then hopefully we can just sort of coast into it on Sunday. All right.
All right.
Hey,
Cool.
excited.
All right. All right. Have a nice week, everyone.
Okay.
You too.
You
Thanks,
too.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.